my YouTube stream. There we go. Hi, Plush Puppy. How are you? Welcome in. Oh, what the? It's so fucked up whenever y'all eat me. I feel like it's extra fucked up because I have on the tracking right now. So I really genuinely, I don't. Y'all, what if I had phantom pain and y'all were just yeeting me like that? It would hurt so bad. Please tell me y'all have seen the TikToks of like the people in VR chat freaking out because they have phantom synths and they're like, I have phantom pain. And there was one where a girl was like getting my hair, my head. Why would y'all do this? There was one where a girl was getting like tomatoes thrown at her and she was like, I'm allergic to tomatoes, stop. And like she like fainted in VR chat. God, VR chat people are so funny. They crack me up. They crack me up so bad. Hi Nick, hi Primals, how's it going? How's it going? I know I'm bald. I want my hair back. I'm just bald ass head. This is so fucked up. Okay, there we go. We're good now. Oh, but yeah, so yesterday around like, what is it? 5, I think. VR chat is my first interaction with furries, and I have since been educated better. I'm so sorry that was your first interaction with furries. That's like the worst first interaction you could have possibly had. That's actually tragic. I'm so sorry. I have something to show you. I think you'll want to see if you're not directly busy right now. Yeah, can you like DM it to me? Does it require like what all does it require? Because I mean, I'm streaming, but I do have like my Discord open on the side here, so I can look at it. Oh yeah, I was saying whenever I like started, or so yesterday after Monday stream, I was like, okay, things have been calmed down, nothing crazy's happening. And then yesterday, about like 5 o'clock or something, the whole Takahata situation just goes fucking crazy because he drops a doc. And so I'm like, oh, I have to. Well, before he drops a doc, Alicia puts out a post and then he drops a doc. And then the victim of the doc puts out her like statement. And I was like, oh, fuck. I'm going to be covering this like all day tomorrow on stream. And then today, like, what, 2 hours ago, Charlie Kirk gets fatally shot at some university. And I was like, fuck. I mean, maybe I addressed that a little bit, which, like, I actually had a talk with one of my friends earlier about this. And because he's a bit younger and too much shit is happening. The friend that I talked to earlier, he's a bit younger. I think was very sheltered growing up, and he's kind of like now seeing things. I'm not for sure on that, but I kind of get that vibe. And so he had asked me if I could call, and he was saying that he was so kind of hurt seeing people like be so cheerful that somebody was like had been shot, and like this was like fresh, so we didn't know he had died yet. And he was like, I don't agree with the guy's takes whatsoever, but like I don't feel like we should be cheering on violence towards anybody. And I kind of had to explain to him that like I understand why you feel that way, and like I don't think generally humans should not feel joy or any positive emotion towards seeing another human suffering. But in the day and age that we're in, where we see suffering constantly happening, and we see specifically people rooting like and cheering, you see the like basically oppressor class cheering on violence against the oppressed when something bad happens to them, where like the oppressed class is going to be giving back the basically the same energy they've been receiving this entire time. And so while it is awful to see violence celebrated against any particular person, it's the same way that like everybody's been wishing for Trump to bite the or kick the bucket for like 6 years now. At this point, people have been waiting for that orange to die. But like it's in the same vein of that, of you have these people that have been constantly, and I compared it to, you have people who, while it is tragic to see a life lost, what if that one life I'd exchange that one life for the thousands of lives that they are directly impacting, and they would not feel the same way towards us. And I kind of had to like, I wanted to be kind, like because I mean, I don't give a damn that that dude died. I don't fucking like him. Obviously, he has been very loud about his support for basically everything I stand against. So I just, yeah, also be careful going online, because that video is circulating around. I did see it. I am unfortunately very desensitized to gore, and things like that. And that was the other thing that I was explaining, is that like, a lot of people have been desensitized to very violent things happening because it's been constantly perpetrated against the like oppressed. And you see, yeah, it was literally talk shit, get hit. And that's the thing, is everybody's pointing out how literally, I think it was like 2 years ago that he said that unfortunately there would be lives lost to gun violence because, but like it's a sacrifice he's willing to make for people to still have their Second Amendment right, which he was a victim of the exact thing he was talking about. It is what it is. But I was having that conversation earlier, and like I was trying to figure out the way to like explain that to him. Because again, this guy, I really feel that he's been very sheltered his life, and like seeing things, and like it's from a place of privilege that he has had to be sheltered to these things. He's a little white boy. Oh, hi Oshi. Hi. Thank you for the sub. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Also, small snail mail. Thank you for the sub at the beginning. I forgot to say thank you. I personally would have dodged this shot, but that's just me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's the thing, is like it's just that I hate when people say, "What does no one feel bad?" and the person they're talking about. Yeah, like it was a genuinely horrible person. And I will always, as much as bad as it is, it feels good to see them get the energy that they've been giving. It's satisfying to see them, somebody who has constantly talked about how, you know, we always need our guns, and you know, if some people are gonna die, some people are just gonna die, to be the one to die. Because it's always, the problem I see is that these people's words and ideas impact real lives, and they act like it's a game and just business, but that's not the case. Where people get hurt while it's 100% should not happen. Hurt people will hurt you back after a while. Exactly. And like, that's why I say, like, it's the same situation back when that healthcare CEO died. Of like, it sucks that he died, and like RIP to him and his family. Like he left behind kids and whatnot, but his actions and the things that he did directly impacted and killed so many people. He's getting back what the same energy he's given out. And that's the same thing that's happening in this situation. The attitude wanting to show empathy when bad people die. I'm convinced if Hitler died today, these people would be like, guys, show it. They would. They absolutely would. They absolutely would. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Without a doubt. Oh, hi, Inochi, welcome in. How's it going? Sorry, my YouTube chat is on another screen. I don't see it that often. But like, that is what it is. That's the situation, and like, that's the environment that like has been able to be created with like everything going on. I was growing 5 minutes on Twitter and it appeared because someone I know, like, yeah, and like that was the main thing, was that whenever he this guy that I was talking to earlier, he had messaged me because he said somebody like just sent him the video. Like, they didn't tell him what it was, they didn't tell him anything, and so he just saw this man get shot and, you know, brutally killed, basically, without any warning. And so like, it kind of traumatized him. And like, again, unfortunately, I've seen so much gore on the internet growing up. Unrestricted access to the internet for a small child wasn't the best idea, but you know, I'm doing okay now. But like, I've seen the video, and it didn't affect me, but it greatly affected him because he's never seen something like that before. comes to gore, it's like, but yeah, like gore in real life is definitely different than like game one. It's a bit different than Kirk, who's just spewing garbage. But I get you. Well, I don't think it is. I don't feel like it is, because Kirk spewing the garbage that he spews has directly affected, and people listen to that and then vote in a way that directly impacts minority groups, whether it be minority in race, minority in gender. It like that, those things, that garbage that he is spewing, people agree with it, and they hear him saying it, and they're like, oh my god, yeah, that guy is right, I'm agreeing with that. Fortunately, I mean, he made a decision. Regardless of his decision, people die. I don't know full specifics. I can understand, I think, the argument you're trying to make there. I think I just don't agree with it. Oh, it's basically the same as CEO. From my perspective, I live in Texas, and if my wife was pregnant and needed, what is it? Okay. Needed to uninstall the fetus to save her life. Doctors would, by law, be forced to let her die. Directly as a result, in part, is his rhetoric. So if that happens, we would have to abandon our family and leave the state to save her. Yeah, exactly. And if I wasn't able to save her life, there will be consequences. Exactly that. That's why I feel like it really is the same. I feel like it's very similar. It's not 1-to-1, but 1-to-2 ain't that far off, you know? So I think regardless, it's in the same vein. It is in the same group that you have these things happening. Where you have the same thought process and like the same sense of people being, celebratory of somebody's death. Because that person has impacted so many lives directly by their actions. That's what I mean about this rhetoric having real life consequences, and they know it, but they don't care. That's true too. And like, that was another thing that like this whole tactic that the right, you see often, obviously people on the left do it too, but I feel like you really see it on the right. This whole tactic they have of rage baiting, this is the end result. Somebody's going to get mad enough to inflict violence on you. This was an inevitable end result of this. And I really hope that from Charlie Kirk's death specifically, they understand to stop playing around, because like John said earlier, is they treat this shit like it's a game, and it's not. This is real life. You cannot be rage baiting about things that are going to kill people, that are going to get other people killed just because you don't like them. And so I really hope that this gets that whole movement and what everybody seems to think is the best form of marketing of rage baiting to stop. That's not the way we should go, because inevitably somebody's going to get mad enough that bait's going to get taken. And when it does, you might not be alive afterwards. I feel like this is just where it ends up. This is just how it's going to end. Hold on, I gotta read stuff. I'm behind. Y'all are typing a lot. I don't want to hear a sulk. It's just some empathy. Oh my gosh. Or people this. Yeah, and that was the other thing. And that was something that I did bring up to that friend too, was that like not long ago there was a trans person who took their life on and like posted about it on the internet, and the right took that and ran with it for a month. Like, they're still making jokes about the fact that this person took their life. It's like, again, it is the same energy being given. That's all it is that there's an opportunity for the oppressed to give the same energy that the oppressors have been giving us. Oh, Jay Savage, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. So like that's kind of that's just how I see it. To be honest, it's what it is. What are y'all fighting? What?
Yeah, ignore it. It's not
Okay. Welcome in though. How's it going? The spin on us was hilarious. I know. I spin whenever I get followed. But that's not even the whole Charlie Kirk thing is not the point of this stream. I just figured I should touch on it because like that shit just happened. Like it is actively. And then because America is America, there was a recent headline, even more recent. I think literally Charlie Kirk died what, like 2 hours ago, maybe 2 or 3 hours ago. There is I got bonked. Why did I get bonked? There's a headline about an hour ago that there's a shooting at another high school. And I saw somebody quote the tweet to say, like, we interrupt this news about the shooting to give you news about the shooting. Like, that's just only in America do you have something like that. And I don't, oh, Cinder! Thank you for the sub! Cinder, look, I move! Thank you for the sub, though! Real Beybladers don't commit acts of violence offensively. Dog, what the? Yes, I am a sponsor! Exclamation point sponsor. You can use code YayJBay at somaticvr.com to get money off if you're trying to get full body tracking, because this shit is awesome! Ah! Okay. Anyways. Gun violence is bad. Yeah. Point blank. I dream of a day where minorities stop taking the white bait and unite for the rebellion. I'm so sorry, Johnny. It will never happen. It will quite literally never happen. I don't. Just throw it up percent. Stop. I can't. I'm not doing any of that. I don't want to get in trouble with anybody. With this ramp up violence in it. Well, the shooter was cis and would have done the same thing. Yeah. That's true. Is that they actively just blame. Well, again, regardless, they'll put blame on trans people or minorities. They'll do it regardless of who and what have they. I mean, they did the same thing whenever there was like the assassination attempt on Trump, is before it even came out that like the shooter was some white boy. They were already trying to spin that narrative. So sure, you can move. You can't hit a jig as hard as I can. And half of my body is a fish. You fail. Okay. All right. Well, you got me there. I literally only have on the arm and chest tracking. So like, I can't really hit a jig. I don't got it right now. Wait until I get in VR chat though. I could really bust a move. Oh, I saw the thing. I can't look at it right now. Don't blame anyone but themselves. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad none of these shootings have been black people. Yes, I'm specifically glad it has been basically all cis white people, because the second that it's not one of those, we already know what's about to happen. It's because you can't fly, huh? I can fly. Stop. Let me see you, Millie Rock. I'd have to like back up from my desk to do that. I don't know how the tracking will be if I back up. Can I? I can't. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, babe. The POC delegation is out to lunch after people decided to vote for the weird uncle who gets too close to teenagers in the office. Yeah. Is the leg stanky? I don't have the leg tracking on. Dude, y'all gotta wait. Y'all have to wait until I get into VR chat and I put it all on. I mean, I could put it all on, not in VR chat. I just didn't today. Because like honestly, this was like a test run of like doing this, and it's working out very well. I'm very excited for it. But anyways, sure, actually, a black person did it, not someone lost a life today. I have opinions on the person involved, but I won't say. Yeah, no, listen, we've been very open about the opinions. Put John in the robot, dude. I mean, I technically, because before I got this set sent to me by Somatic, I already had full body tracking that John made specifically. So we could both be in full body. I mean, he doesn't have a model or anything, so we can't really like illustrate that to y'all, but it's possible. Like if the shooter is black, rap music is to blame. If it's Muslim, Islam is to blame. When it's a white guy, cut him some slack. He must be trouble. Think what media has he consumed? No, quite literally. You are so on the money with that. That's how it is every time. It's so damn annoying. It's so agitating. Ugh. Anyways, though, wait. I think we've gotten through this. This wasn't even the point of today's stream. Again, it just happened, and I was like, I guess we talk about this because it just happened. But no, we have a lot of shit to cover dealing with the Takahata situation. And that's what that's what we're doing today. That was supposed to be the entire point of stream. But we have little side tracking, side tours, if you will. Would you make him a small little PNG model on your head? I could. Ear wiggling? Oh, we want ear wiggles. I got you. So let me grab my. We're gonna go through basically everything, starting from everything this year. So to give background, or if anybody isn't aware of what's going on with this, here we go. Let me put on the remove Twitter sites. There we go. This is Takahata101. I've not met a single VTuber streamer who's okay with talking about stuff like this. Thank you for joining me in the opinionated train. I love screaming. No problem. Oh, what the? Why is my thumb not up? Can I put this thumb up? Why are my thumbs not up? Oh, what? Okay, so the glove tracking needs to be adjusted a little bit. But I was trying to give you a thumbs up. Here we go. I can give you a peace sign, though. Hell yeah. On Takahata. So this is Takahata. He was a very popular streamer, would constantly be doing collabs with other big streamers. People, you would just always see him about. His whole thing was he was a bartender, and his streams were like a bar that he would invite people to. They'd have a chit chat, laugh, make jokes, whatever. Sometime, I want to say last year, or was it this year? So, towards the beginning of this year, a lot of creators started coming out and saying that they were distancing themselves from Takahata. And they weren't putting any information as to why they were distancing themselves. They were just saying, hey, I'm not associated with him anymore. Something happened. I can't talk about it, but I'm not going to be associating with him. And that was circulating for a while. And so back in May, Taka made this post where he said, you may already be aware that over the past few months, several creators have distanced themselves from me. Some have announced they will no longer collaborate on future content. Others have even removed past collaborations from their platform. It has become clear to me that this is largely driven by a false and hurtful rumors that have been circulating behind the scenes. I am aware of where this has all originated and how it has spread. While I have no desire to escalate matters or cause unnecessary distress, I have, with the guidance of legal and professional counsel, now compiled a dossier that clearly identifies the falsehoods and substantiates the truth with provable and independent evidence. I'm aware that the spread of this false narrative has been made possible by the lack of full context, but the allegations now being made and implied are simply untrue. Yes, I do know the identity of the original source, but I am also very aware of that individual's emotional vulnerability, and I truly have no wish to do them harm. So at this stage, I do not intend to make their identity public or take further action of any kind. It is my sincere hope that this will never be necessary. However, I have found this entire situation deeply difficult to process, so after careful reflection, I've decided that to take a significant step back from content creation for now. This has not been an easy decision, but I believe it is the right one for the time being. To those who have continued to offer kindness, understanding, and genuine support, I'd like to say thank you. This has meant more than I can express. So this was back in May. This was May 9th, 2025, so this year. Nothing really came out since then. People were still speculating. You had people posting about the fact that all these creators were distancing from him, but nobody gave any type of context. They just said, I'm not associated with Taka anymore. I can't talk about it. We didn't get any additional actual context until August 27th. Adora Bunny, who is since been canceled and is no longer, she even says here, I'm retired from VTubing and will not be rebranding. She has left the community, but She put out this post that says, "This has weighed heavily on me since January. The reason I distanced myself from Takahata101 earlier this year was because Red Claw had shown me an anonymous victim's allegations of Takahata R-wording her. I distanced myself from Taka after I read this." And it's screenshots of, everything is censored in the screenshot, but it's just Red Claw sending a lot of screenshots to Adora. And her asking, was Taka's name submitted to the police report? Just wanted to make sure. And Red Claw confirms his real name was. So August 27th was the first time we really got, people had speculated it was something along this lines, but it was the first time we actually got a confirmation of what actually happened that made everybody distance from him. And so after this was posted, literally, I think 3 days ago, Takahata came back and said, "Thank you to those who reached out. I am aware of the incredibly serious allegations that have circulated privately the last several months. One that is simply false. Crucial facts have been omitted and or distorted. As such, I have consulted with my lawyers. My legal representative in January of 2025 contacted the individual who started this, but have yet to receive any response from the individual in question. Therefore, for the sake of my mental health, I hope to move forward and at some point return to streaming and content creation. Thank you to my friends, family, and community for your support." And so this was pretty recent. It was I think at the beginning of this week. Yeah, it was on Sunday that this was posted. And so I was going to talk about it on Monday, but I had my collab with Luna and I was like, this isn't really anything to discuss, so I don't feel the need to, cover this. It's just him basically reiterating what he had said before. And so from this, I just thought that would be it. Maybe I cover this on Wednesday. Just like a quick little highlight note. But yesterday is when everything popped off. Everyone speculated. I don't know if she made a tweet. Alicia said, yes. Alicia had said it had nothing to do with that. Lying ass Trump. Well, speaking on Alicia specifically, yesterday at 3:21 p.m. my time, Alicia made a post here. And she said, "The victim doesn't want to be public, so I haven't gone into detail at all about what happened. They supported me saying more in the past, but I still refused because I was worried about her stability. But I will say this, now using her prior okay with me saying something. Taka told me in a call that he had sex with a woman who was under sedatives. She has a 24/7 caretaker because she mentally cannot take care of herself. Her mother handed her off to him when he came to see her, trusting him with her care. Earlier that day, she said she wanted to off herself. She cried on the train ride with him, and when she got to the hotel, she took a lot of pills in front of him. He himself stated he saw her take the pills. This is what Taka told me himself. I've never spoken directly to the victim. I've only ever talked to him, then made my decision." Which, I don't understand how you never spoke to the victim, but you spoke to the victim to get her prior okay of being able to talk about this. There's contradictory right there, but she just puts a screenshot of the Taka post that I had just read to y'all. And a lot of people had things to say about this. There has been a lot of discussion since Alicia posted this, but I will say 2 hours after she posted this, we got Takahata posting my relationship tumultuous? How do you say this word? Tumultuous? Yeah. My tumultuous relationship with Mistress Doom VT. Trigger warning for emotional abuse, gaslighting, slander, defamatory accusations, drug use, and accusations of assault. And we got, finally after, which I'm going to go ahead and pin this, tumultuous? I never heard that. I don't think I've ever heard that word. I've only ever seen it. I've read it. Tumultuous?
Tumult?
There's no R. Tumultuous. And so, with Taka putting out a full Google Doc, we finally have full context from somebody about this. You're at the first time? Thanks. Means chaotic. I knew what it mean. I knew what it meant. I just had never heard the word verbally. I'd only ever read the word, which happens to me often. I don't know how to pronounce words, but I do know what they mean, and I have seen them before. Unfortunate, but you got it right as an educated writer, I say. Thank you, thank you. So, anyways, I feel whenever I use thrice, I still feel weird. Anyways, oh, hi, definitely Big Chungus. We got, oh, hi, Kuro. We got Taka's statement here. And so, before I go into it, I will say, because he talks about this is his relationship with Mistress Doom. After he posted this, Mistress Doom did make her own statement, but I'll go over her statement after reading his document, because I'm just kind of going in chronological order of like the things that have, like, when things were posted. And so he puts in the replies to here saying, I know I had originally said I wanted to protect this individual due to the concern of her mental health. However, due to recent events and the fact that she has continued to use other creators to tell her story via grotesque misrepresentation of the facts, I am now forced to name her. I need to protect myself and those who have been dragged into this situation. Maybe with albeit and furthermore. It happens. So, going into Taka's doc, it is a pretty concise document. It's 8 pages. Which is, on the shorter end of docs that we've covered for way less serious things. Oh my God, Somatic! Thank you for the follow! I have my exclamation point Somatic for y'all. So people know to go check y'all out for full bunny tracking needs. But thank you, babe, thank you. Funny enough, those words are on my list to use more this year and not feel weird when I use it. I'm glad y'all have these lists. Okay, but back to the document. So, Taka put this document together, 8 pages. There are links to screenshots in the document, so whenever we get to those, I'll open up that link and go over them. But just going into it, he starts a statement by saying, this has been one of the saddest and most difficult periods of my life. I have been hugely hurt by a wonderful person who I have loved for over 9 years. I have been the target of allegations, speculations, ill-informed judgment, and malicious rumors, all of which have been untrue and which, fortunately, I do have the evidence to disprove. This one special person may have been the source of this, but they do carry no blame. Others who have fed jackal-like on the scraps they have found perhaps do. Oh, what is this? Okay. For a while, I was confused and angry. I could not understand how something like this could spring from such a trusting, long-standing relationship, but now I think I understand. Sometimes in life, events occur which can rip away the protective layer surrounding our emotions. Sometimes these heal, but often they stay raw and exposed close to the surface of our lives. Scientists may describe this as PTSD, but it is more than that. There is beauty there too. I know, if you know or love someone like this, you'll know what I mean. Could you give me my water? Yeah. Once you're done with that? Thank you. You'll know what I mean. Their emotions are right there, so close to the surface. When they open themselves, their hearts, their feelings to you, it is a true act of love. What you experience from them is genuine and pure, cannot be fabricated. It's the truth, emotional truth. I don't feel like all of this is needed right now. I'm just gonna be honest. From the get, I'm not liking how he started this. Oh, hi, welcome in. How's it going? Thank you for the follow. Yeah, there's a lot of fluff to this, which I've ragged on other VTubers before. And again, in those situations, something way less serious. You can see me grab my water and drink it. In those situations, something way less serious. Don't add fluff to a statement that you are trying to make, especially if you are trying to defend yourself right now. People are going to, because I had this happen before, and I think it was with this doc too. Whenever people see this fluff at the beginning, they lose the want to hear you out because they think you're just bullshitting because you're putting fluff in this. So we're already, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like this. I don't like this. Yeah, fluff only loses the authenticity. Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. Concise, facts, dispute. 100%. I'm not, that's how long it should be instead of this marathon, nothing burger, emotional manipulative mess we have had these past 2 months. Oh, well, it's starting off in the same way, I'm not gonna lie. Considering it's only 8 pages, it's only the first page I'm allowing for me personally. Yeah, we're still gonna go through it. I'm just letting y'all know how I'm feeling about it currently. I don't like that he did this. But continuing on, it says, but there is more than one kind of truth. There's the truth of feelings, of emotions, of the heart. But there's also the truth of hard facts and mundane realities, and sometimes they clash and collide. These hearts cannot accept the unacceptable, even when the facts demand they should. I have found the difference between untruth and a lie. A lie is a deliberate falsehood, cold, deliberate, rational. But an untruth can spring from a deeper place, from a heart that has no place for the reality it's being asked to acknowledge. Instead, it insists on its own truth. For many of us in the VTuber world, I think a constructed reality can seem a safer, happier place. And I think this world provides shelter for many whose other lives are raw and vulnerable realities. I have suffered mental turmoil myself, and I've found many of the relationships here to be more fulfilling, meaningful, and safer than many I have experienced in my outside world. This person that I loved for so many years came into my life before my entry into the VTuber world, back when we met in person at a convention, and we built the truth of our relationship together. I thought we knew each other deeply and truly, but maybe we never really knew the other us living our other lives. But maybe I never really knew the other life that she was leading. Hold on, let me check something. There we go. I want to turn down the music just a little bit. This shit reads like a research, like trying to write a research paper. Yeah, no, it's very, oh, I've graded papers. This is very accurate. There's a factor in that if you just go into the facts, you seem cold, and with the internet, as people are hesitant to believe that a human made. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one for sure. People need to pay me to edit their docs. I'll cancel the fuck out of you in 10 pages. Or like, babe, no. Oh my gosh. Okay. Continuing, he says, when finally we came together, there was perhaps a harsh collision of the two worlds, a clash of realities. I had not seen or expected or understood this, and I have failed to allow for it. We had worked and planned to arrange a meeting. It was to be joyful, tender, erotic, happy, open. But the reality was different. I think I did not belong in this, her other world. There, our openness and the strength of our feelings became simple vulnerabilities. She found no place for me in that world. But nor did she want to hurt or reject the person that she had loved all of these years. So she allowed a new truth to be shaped. A truth that made sense of her response, her feelings. A truth that did not match the facts of what happened, but was true in her heart. I had now been found by her to be a different kind of person. A person guilty of the kind of insensitivity and even sexual abuse that has no place in the world of 9 years of in the world of the 9 years of our previous relationship, love, and shared intimacy. So, this is what was said, implied, suggested to others in that world. It is untrue, but it sprang from a hurt heart. Others fed hungrily on it for questionable personal reasons. Oh, what is this? Instincts of trying to meet the minimum page requirement. Very descriptive and human. I've seen people personally with AI psychosis because the AI's response can be so... Literally, yeah. Oh my god, the AI psychosis is scary. I've seen that on Twitter or on TikTok with that woman who thought she was in love with, or who thought her therapist was in love with her. But that's for a different time. Continuing with this, he says, but I do owe the truth to my friends, and so I have set out as clearly as I can the details of what happened over those few days of our meetings. If it reads a little clumsy, I make no apologies. It is based on simple records, communication notes. I do not want to polish or refine this. I simply want to share the truth, but it is underpinned by evidence, solid, written, and now shared with my professional advisors. And then we get into the section called The Clash of Two Worlds. And so now going in, this is our little prelude introduction, not the section titles. we get, I think, is that the only... That's the only title. That's the only section title. We just got a precursor before we get into this. So, getting into the Clash of Two Worlds. Taka says, I've known EJ, aka Mistress Doom VT, for 9 years. I first met her at a convention in Newcastle. We hung out a lot during the weekend and spent a lot of the time together, including getting Subway sandwiches at 3 a.m. after drinking, dancing, and playing board games at the convention. During that time, I could tell I was crushing on her, but I didn't share this until later. Later, she told me she also had feelings for me, but we did not act on these feelings during the trip. After that, we began an online romantic and sexual relationship for a while. We kept in communication, on again, off again for years. It was at a mutual friend's wedding in November of 2019 when I saw EJ again in person for the second time. To be honest, I had thought she hated me for communication communication breaking off. So when I saw that she was at the wedding, I was nervous. In fact, when I got there, she was also arriving. So I bit the bullet and said hello and waved at her. We got to talking that day, and I found out that she was also worried that I might hate her because she had stopped communicating with me. So we laughed it off. That weekend, we spent a great deal of time dancing and having a long conversation over several hours on the steps of the manor where the wedding was taking place. At that moment, I knew absolutely that the reality was that I still had feelings for her, but I was dating somebody else, and that is why we did nothing. We went to our separate rooms that night, and although I was already in a relationship, I knew now that I had deep feelings for her. Several months after the wedding, I ended my relationship with my partner at the time to pursue a non-monogamous lifestyle, which allowed me to interact freely with EJ. During this time, EJ and I talked and engaged in very intimate conversations once again. We discussed how we lusted after each other and how it was hard that we lived so far away from each other. Throughout COVID, our relationship was on again, off again, but our constant communication did not start again until we entered VTubing, which I was already working in before she also entered it, during which we were talking constantly, and from there our relationship grew stronger than it ever had before, and she started to work on my channel and my streams, helping out with organizing. EJ proved herself to be extremely talented at organizational structure for my streams. I wish it wasn't such a hassle to defend yourself. It should be, you say your piece about the situation, what they did, what you did. You're not guilty of this huge thing. Yeah. It's rough. So continuing, it says, our relationship grew into an actual romance and it lasted several years, during which she confessed to me that she was in love with me, and I confessed to her that I felt the same. So far as I felt and believed, we were in a romantic relationship together. We have the first screenshot of, messages between the two. Oh, I should have looked at these beforehand. That was a little crazy. That was, if y'all read that first message, I'm not reading it aloud. I'm not comfortable like that. So this is them talking about they're about to be together and whatnot. Yeah, raunchy stuff there, for real. Talking about, oh, they're so excited to see each other. She's saying here, I know it's lame, but I keep thinking of what outfit do I want to wear to meet you at the airport. I want to look cute. He says you're going to look so cool. Stuff like that. God, I want to kiss you. They're doing the lovey-dovey shit. She says, I enjoyed being close with you. I want to be close with you. I hope you enjoy your time with me, getting to be close. Yada, yada. This is just showing that there was the emotional love from both sides. It wasn't a one-sided thing. It's very clearly that these two want to be together and they care for each other. And so we continue with him saying, she was one of the few people in the world I spoke to constantly and trusted. I saw her as a partner. We shared multiple years of intimacy remotely, and we spoke often of me visiting her and her visiting me. Finally, I bit the bullet and decided to book a ticket in April of 2024 to fly to see her at the end of August 2024, which coincided with the event AEW All In London, and to share with her something I really enjoy. She expressed her excitement that I had actually bit the bullet, bought the tickets, and arranged my visit. She said no one had ever done something like that for her before. We talked about the dates that I would be there and discussed where I would stay in London and what we would get up to. She even stated that she would meet me at the airport and that she was very excited to see me. EJ suggested staying closer to Wembley, which more screenshot, which I think they were kind of shown in the other ones. This is just knowledge of the trip and them flirting with each other. Mike is also here. Oh, hi. Them flirting with each other, all of that going on there. And They say you got to go through the BS. You got to present evidence. You got to connect with the audience emotionally, mentally. You got to have screenshots. Oh yeah, yeah. It's so much more that like you have to do now. Whenever this happened, I remember the Sonic affair. I wonder did Tuck also talked his VA voice. Wait, what? What? Also, hi CD, welcome in. This is them talking sexy. So I'm kind of just skimming through this. I'm not gonna really read all of this. This is all them being lovey-dovey towards each other. It's just Taka has provided several screenshots to really illustrate that it was both of them liking each other. Hi, Mike. These trackers are great. Thank you. Read the smut, Dougie. No, I'm not reading the smut specifically. There's a lot of it. It's. How many pages is this? It's 26 pages of them being all lovey-dovey. I'm not doing all that. If y'all want to read that, we love you. Oh, thank you. I can't do a heart. I can't do a heart that well, but it was in spirit. I did a heart with my hands. Y'all are addicted to the docs. You know it. Oh my gosh, that's very true. You look like you're trying to flip us off. I can do that. I can very much do that. I can both hands. I have that ability now. Instead of smut do that, no, I am especially not doing that. Fuck no. I leave that to you, Luna. Also, an ad break is coming in 3 minutes. I will pause going through the doc while the ads play. I'm kind of sick of them, but I'm not surprised. Yeah. But this is just more screenshots here illustrating their lovey-dovey stuff, all of that. Going back to his statement, he says a few days before the trip, she told me that she had a medical issue with one of her animals and she might not be able to come out. The originally intended plans might change, but in her last correspondence, she stated that she was planning to come out that night I arrived, which eased my personal anxieties as I would be alone otherwise. She expressed apprehension about being in London, away from her home, but nothing she said made clear the extent to which this would be an issue for her. And because I did not know about the severity of some episodes she had experienced in the past and her resultant deep ill-ease about being away from home, I didn't perhaps pay as much attention to her apprehension as I might have done otherwise, as the severity was not impressed upon me beforehand. Which that was just a really long way of saying he didn't know what she had going on, so he didn't really care that much that she, like, was kind of iffy about doing this. So she would only be an hour away from her home, but every communication we shared leading up to my departure was warm and positive from both sides. Our correspondence was very personal and intimate, and she told me she had mental health issues, which she had battled throughout her life. However, when she talked about her mental health issues, she never indicated how severely they were. Oh, I'm censored. But I never questioned this, and I did not pry into the specifics of her illness, so I was never aware of the severity of the issues she faced until I arrived in England. As someone who has mental issues too, I can understand fighting your own demons, and I would never disrespect her for this. I, in fact, too, have PTSD regarding flying. I told her repeatedly that I was concerned about the travel in flight. She asked if I had medication, sedatives to be specific, and I told her I did. I took Ativan? A new medication to help calm my nerves while flying. During the trip over, I took over double the intended dosage as the flight was incredibly turbulent. All right, you really didn't miss anything. He's setting the stage that he and this person were dating. Yeah, no, that's what I figured all of that was, which is why I didn't bother really going through it, is because it's really just going over the fact that they both liked each other and this was a very mutual feeling that they had. You missed me on the verge of crashing out over these Google Docu rules. Google Docu rules? What do you mean? Okay. I see what you're saying now. So continuing, he says, but when the time for our meeting arrived, a different reality cut in. When I landed, everything changed immediately. I realized I had increased lethargy and was disoriented and experienced increased anxiety. I was in the Uber to the hotel when I received a text from EJ saying she wouldn't be coming until likely Saturday evening. The reason she came, hold on, I'm pausing. The ad breaks just started, so I'm just gonna wait for a second. Hi Bingo! Welcome in, how's it going? I can move, I'm moving my upper body. I only have arms and chest on. I could have put like on the waist tracking on too. I just didn't feel like it. And this was like a test run too, so this is working out really well. Random dancing. Ads, take my Twitch ad pennies. I will take the ad pennies. Ads are playing. Jay can't see us. We can do whatever. That's not how that works at all. That's not even a little bit of how that works. I very much still see everything that you're doing. Thank you for pausing on ad breaks. It helps me not miss out. Yeah, of course. Listen, I get it. I'm not gonna go over the juicy bits while people can't even see it. Now's the perfect time to practice your VA lines because it's an ad break. Luna, where's your 3D model? So we can really see me grab you. If I had a 3D Luna plush, I could just be grabbing it in my hand right now. I need that. So I need you to get on that. I'll do a listen back into the VOD. It's not happening. I'm not doing any of that. Oh, I have no idea what this is about, but I will watch. It's a lot. We haven't gotten into like really like the thick of it yet. So far it's really just been like setting the stage and going over background information. She can't strangle us all? Oh, yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can. I'll go say Oshi backwards. What? How would I say that? ISO? ISO? Well, I guess it'd be ISO? Because Oshi. Jacob, my man, don't fall. What do you mean don't fall for? What's there to fall for? I don't understand. With her hands, right? Right, yes. With my hands. Of course. What else? Actually, don't answer that. Don't answer that. I lied. I realized I shouldn't ask y'all those kind of questions. Because y'all can't behave. I know how you are. I know exactly how y'all are. But yeah, so far, document, we're about to like really get into it, I feel, because we're on page 4 out of 8. So this is literally the halfway point. It's only going down, up, down from here. OMGQ Furry. Oh my god, thanks. Welcome in, how's it going? My neck, right? What are y'all talking about? You know what? Never mind. Welcome back from the ads. Let me continue on where we stopped. So this is Taka saying that he was in the Uber. She says, I was in the Uber to the hotel when I received the text from EJ saying that she wouldn't be coming until likely Saturday evening. The reason she gave... Oh my god, Mike! Thank you for the 5 gift subs! Holy shit! Wow! Hype train time! Thank you so much! Oh my goodness. Wait, who do they... Oh, Aaron got one! That's nice. I like to see who gets them. Yeah, drama. Yeah. Oh, thank you for the cookie. I appreciate it. Wow. Let's go by. Yeah. Chat, if you give more subs, Jay covers more docs for the subathon. I'm not even doing a subathon. What do you mean? I mean, I'm not doing one now. There will be a donathon maybe next month, but I haven't planned a single thing for it. Subathon. Whoa, Doodles. You can't just put out words like that, like subathon. You know how people get. Cut it out. Anyways. Mike, thank you so much again for the 5 gift subs. I really appreciate it. Mommy says hi too, by the way. We're chilling, watching together. Oh my god, hi! I hope y'all are doing well. I gotta get back on VR chat. I got full body tracking from Somatic, which if y'all are looking for very awesome full body tracking, we're gonna do exclamation point sponsor. Check out Somatic and use code JJB at checkout. But anyways, back into this. More likes, subs, and dongs? Dongs? You mean things? Did you just spell things wrong? Oh, my bad. Let me throw out some buzzwords. Subathon, donathon, 24-hour stream, instant, Google Docky, Subway Surfer. You bitch. Tongs? What? That. Anyways, back into this. Where are my keys? Jingle jingle, Docky. Lock in, everybody. The reason she gave how many gift subs for me to box Aiden Ross? Oh my god. Lock in, everybody. The reason she gave was that her dog had an ear infection. What confused me about this is she had multiple people in her home who could take care of the animals, as she had informed me in the past that these people had done so. Of course, this was disappointing, as we had agreed that she would come on Thursday or Friday at the latest. So we get the excuses once landed, going through the flying and whatnot, getting luggage. This is EJ saying, unfortunately, my dog's ear is, she said my doggo's ear is still really bad, so I can't leave him. If it's still bad tomorrow, the earliest I'm going to be able to get to London is Saturday evening. If that's the case, would you be down to grab a train to Cambridge Friday, and I can just pay for a hotel for you? That way we can still hang and I can look after the dog. I'll pay for the train and such. Then we can head back to London together on Saturday. And this is him saying, just got your message. Sucks that your pup is still ill and you have no one to take care of him. I won't lie, I'm not very versed in your transit system. How long would it be to take there? She says an hour train and I'd pick you up from the station. He says, unfortunately, I paid for the hotel, so essentially I would have out $400 for nothing. And then he says, would I be able to take the train out there and come back? I'm sorry, your dog is ill, and the last thing I would want you to do is get you to abandon your dog, seeing as you're the only one taking care of them. You mentioned you'd like me to swing it out by your place one of the days I'm here, so maybe we could do, maybe that could be tomorrow, depending. As for getting a whole separate hotel, I just don't think that's going to be a good use of money. EJ responds here saying, I still have to head back to Cambridge on Monday as well, regardless, to monitor the ear properly. It really sucks my dog got sick, but it requires very thorough cleaning and only I can do it. Tuck is asking, is your mother not able to do this? Sorry if I'm coming across rude. I just spent 20 hours in transit. I genuinely don't know if I'm going to be seeing you at all for the next couple days. It just sucks. She responds that no one in the house can do it, and if we fuck it up, the dog will have to have surgery. She says, I'm so incredibly stressed by this whole situation. I've been sick all morning and in a mental health crisis. It's rough. So they'll just like play it by ear. There's more him just kind of asking if like literally can anybody else handle this. Like he says here, I understand that you're really stressed, but right now I'm really depressed and disappointed. I spent a lot of money and time to come out here. He says, dude, I get that, but my dog is sick. I'm the only one trained to care for it. My mental health is at a point where I'm going to hurt myself. And I don't want to do that, but I don't know what to do here. I'm sat in a park crying, trying not to end up in a hospital. I told you I have issues spending nights away from my house, and you booked 7 in London when I wish you could have asked if that was cool. I'm willing to pay for your Cambridge nights so we can see each other. I'm just not in a panic state, but my mental health needs are incredibly difficult to manage. And he says, like, you'll be with me. I'm sorry. Did you think I was just gonna completely ignore you the whole time we're hanging out or something? She goes, no, I just don't want you to see the shittiest version of me that I can't control. I want you to have a nice visit, not dealing with me crying, hyperventilating, and such. Taka responds saying, like, I'm prepared for that, but I seriously don't think the right way of managing that is to literally barely see me while I'm here. She's saying to come to Cambridge. There's more back and forth there. He says, I said I'd be willing to pop out to your home for a day. I didn't know you meant for the rest of the trip, just to my hotel. More back and forth there. God, it's 28 fucking messages of screenshots here. So they're just going back and forth with this, trying to figure out what to do. I think at some, like he gets, or she gets him a train, so he'll like be able to come over there, is what it looks like. Kai Pat, thank you, please. Don't touch me. And then it looks like he actually gets to where she's at, is like what happens there. So he says, but as we continue to talk, she kept saying that she was just afraid of coming to London because it was far from her bubble and was asking me to come out instead. She pivoted and said that she couldn't come out for the full allotment of days that she had agreed, and was pushing hard that I come out and get a hotel in her hometown and visit her instead. I had known EJ and I'd been in love with her for years, and I thought bubble nerves were the only issue here. I didn't expect them to be a real problem. At that stage, I had no reason to realize that her fear of being away from home was as severe as in fact it was. I was worried and disappointed. I just traveled 20 hours from British Columbia to be with her, and this had been planned and agreed on for months, but now it's beginning to seem as though she was making excuses, including her animal as a reason to not hang out with me. After a long text conversation, we called one another and spoke on the phone at length. She said she was simply anxious about leaving her bubble and traveling by herself. She suggested I might book another hotel close to her home. I expressed reluctance in the money needlessly being spent. It was only an hour away. We mutually agreed for her to come out that night, and I traveled to pick her up to allay any fears of her traveling by herself. She said she appreciated this gesture and would even pay for the train ticket for me to travel out there where she was, which was in those screenshots, but he shows it here too. But when we met, she seemed like a different person. I attributed this to her anxiety about traveling. She didn't even smile. This was not the person I knew before, who I had met at the convention or the wedding. This felt like a different reality. We chatted during the ride back, and I thanked her for coming out. At no point during our travel or in the hotel room did she suggest she was apprehensive about intimacy with me. When we got to the hotel room, she said she wasn't in the right headspace yet, but now that the travel was over, she would chill out. She had said that once the travel concluded, her anxiety would calm down, and that once the travel was over, I read that twice, sorry. We went and got snacks at the store around the corner and returned to the hotel room to watch TV together. I did not press her in any way. We sometimes held hands in the bed together. I fell asleep as I was exhausted from having traveled for over 24 hours. At some point, she woke me up with her hand full of unknown pills and joked that she had to take these to live, but I did not know what those meds were or why she was taking them, and she did not tell me. Gradually into the, I think this part is important because this is what Alicia said that Taka knew that she was under sedatives, and this is Taka saying that he did not know what these meds were or why she was taking them, and she did not even tell him. So gradually into the night, we grew closer and more intimate. She didn't betray a sense of being uncomfortable with being intimate. I asked for consent for every sexual act, and she gave me consent. 3 separate consents for 3 separate acts. During the intimate acts, things were said that conveyed to me that everything was fine and there was nothing to worry about. Yeah, hey, Aaron! Yeah, Mike got you a gift sub! Oh, you're reading Taka? I am reading Taka's document right now, which we are reaching we're on page 6 out of 8, so almost through. There are a lot more screenshots included in these later sections. So, continuing on, he says, I fell asleep afterwards. I'm not sure when she fell asleep. The following morning, she woke me up and said she wanted to go home towards the end of the day and return on a different day because being away from her home had been more of a trial than she had expected. However, she impressed upon me that she still wanted to go to the British Museum before she left. I told her I appreciated her coming out all the same, and I understood due to how clearly anxious she had been. I didn't pressure her to stay. The day we went to the British Museum, as this was the activity she truly wanted to do and we had talked about the most, she left the British Museum to head home via train after we checked out some stuff. And so here is screenshots of that. I hope she's shown her face before because I feel like he could have censored that. But again, they are seeming very... Shows she was clearly aware, not foggy head. Space is like... Yeah, that's what he's describing, is that it seems everything was fine. He says here, I think this is after the museum. He says, I hope you have a good night's sleep. Appreciate you powering through your anxiety to spend time with me, and I'm sorry I put you through this. I really do not feel good about how I managed to plan this trip. It was very foolish of me to plan the way I did, and I am incredibly sorry for my selfishness. I'm happy you're in a good place now, and I understand why you needed to go home. This entire trip has already been a wake-up call to me about a lot of things, and I just want you to know that I am incredibly sorry. Apologies for the spam. I'm just very much in my head tonight. I appreciate you reading my messages, and if you want to talk tonight, I am here and would like to talk. And she says, sorry, I was mid-Unite game. I'm not really sure what I'm meant to say. Oh, Smiley, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Have one of these. Thank you. Is it okay to drop some drama in the drama channel? Yeah, you can. Oh, Gamba time. Bet those channel points. One of the comments said even suggests that she took the pills for the sake of getting... Huh? What do you mean by that? Aaron, what do you mean by that? She says here, I didn't know how hard it would be for me, but it's rough, you know. I think my mental health issues are way too well hidden, but they are nasty. He says, I appreciate you messaging me. I appreciate you and everything you were willing to power through. And I'm sorry for not communicating better with you before this trip. I myself, from prone to depressive episodes, and unfortunately I'm hitting one right now. She says, I'm really sorry to hear that. I really wanted you to have a nice trip, but you're also not going to have that if I'm crying the whole time. My roommate and me are willing to pay for the hotel for Monday and Tuesday if you want to stay. If you want to hang in Cambridge way, I won't charge you a couple of months for the VOD channels to cover the loss of the hotel. He says, I'm open to it. Thank you for being willing to find a workaround. Do you still want to come out to the event? I don't want you to foot the whole bill. This is also on me for not communicating properly with you. So he's like, this seems very like mutual. Like he understood what he did wrong and like how he planned it, and he's very apologetic for it. She even says that like she did not really let on that like it would be, she didn't realize it was going to be as hard on her as it was, and that she also didn't want him to have to be dealing with the things that she like she even says like, I wouldn't want you to be dealing with me crying the whole time. Like it seems like it was just a miscommunication between the two whenever it comes to the whole planning of this trip. Taka didn't understand that like exactly as averse to travel as she was, and maybe she didn't explain very well as averse to travel and like how much she really needed to stay by her house. Hot take, adult fun time comes with the responsibility, including and especially communicating. If you can't handle that, you need to stick to solo play. Yes. Surprise, surprise, the lack of communication is about it. Every single time, it is like clockwork. It's always the source of what's happening. So yeah, it seems very normal so far. It sounds she doesn't just got severe anxiety. Exactly. Oh, thank you for the lurk, Nocturne. So another comment say that you can take consent away at any time during the thing, but not really a week after. Yes, that's the other thing. Is that it's fine to, you are more than welcome to take consent away. You can revoke consent. That is something you can do, but it has to be during the thing. You regretting your decisions later on is utter nonsense. I'm so sorry, Easy A. You regretting your decision later on does not mean that it was done in like with malicious intent in the moment. This is you having later regrets. But we will continue. Yeah, you can regret sleeping with someone, but it was done consensually then. Like, oh, they say blame COVID for Y and VTuber drama. There's zero communication skills. God, yeah. Is that what it is? So this is them just more discussing about like Taka being closer to her instead, is all like that is. He says, I went my separate direction. She had left her travel suitcase and several other items in the room, and she told me earlier she would come back from them. So throughout the day, I texted her to make sure she got home safe. She apologized for her anxiety getting the better of her and expressed appreciation for how I was there for her and how I handled the situation. When I expressed regret over how I planned the trip, she stressed the fact that her anxiety had gotten the better of her, but she was still very much wanted to see me. Furthermore, she again invited me to come out to her hometown. We talked again about having me get a hotel near where she lives if I came. And so later, she texted me again saying she would prefer just friendo hangout and not so many hugs going forward. She also shared the extent of her past trauma, panic attacks, and PTSD. I listened to her story of abuse. I felt horrible for her as she went into detail, but I understood and worried that I might have pushed her too far in getting her to leave her bubble to visit me, which I think these screenshots are where things might start to kick up, because she starts to go into her past traumas and what I do wonder if he will censor anything in this. I once had a girl mid-stroke, had her best friend busted in crying about her boyfriend cheating. She hopped off and tried to console her. I was pissed, yeah, but only because I wanted to clobber that guy for messing my good time up. Scribbled, I'm so sorry that happened. But also just the way that you described it. Anyways, so this is hidden sister private pictures, so text is probably out in the open. You've got a solid point there, Kuro. You are so correct. Well, we're about to find out. Who is okay? Let me see if I can kind of get into it. So she's saying here, do you do feel comfortable having me close? And EJ responds, they ain't fancy, but they do a job of giving you a bed. Being able to drive between the hotel and the house is giving me the option of easily crashing wherever I feel. I'll sort it out with my roommate when he wakes up. And Taka asks, you do feel comfortable having me be near though, right? And she says, I'm fine with like hugs, just not lots of them. And he says, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. I really feel fucking awful right now. The last thing I want to do is make you comfortable. Can I call you? She says, I'm kind of chill gaming with peeps at the moment. Please don't feel awful. I'm not mad or anything. I just think we got a friendo hangout, you know? And he says, I understand. I'm having a bit of a mental health crisis right now. I'm talking with my therapist as well. And she says, what's up? I know this trip has been rough so far. I don't want this bad on you either. I want you to meet my animals, hang out with my roommates. These are like easy ways to be on really good ground with me. He says, I appreciate you saying that. I just feel awful for miscalculating so much of everything. I don't want to pressure you to do anything. She says, I think what matters is finding the level ground and making the most of the rest of the time. Like, I'm looking forward to showing you Cambridge. She says, I really appreciate you saying that. She says, I can tell you care about me a lot, and I know none of it's coming from a bad place. And he says, fuck, thank you for saying that. I really need to hear it. She responds, it's obvious that you care. You just didn't know how bad my anxiety problems really were. So, I feel like she is confirming everything that he's, like, saying, and, like, he does, obviously, I'm still going through everything, but, like, it just, I don't see where the bad happens in the, like, talks, like, the sexual talk was, he said he asked and got consent all 3 times. Oh, hi, Hyper, welcome in, how's it going? If she takes that consent, don't be mad with it. Yeah, and that's fine, but, like, that's fine for you, like, your story. But, like, that's not what happened here, and so, like, I'm not understanding. If you look at it, yeah, she's playing Pokemon Unite during all of this too. Going well, how are you? I'm doing good. I just got my full body tracking set up, so I'm very excited. I don't see the essay angle people have been saying for that's what, like, huh? I need to still go through. I need to keep reading because maybe I'm just not there yet. But I'm also just not seeing it, and I'm not even seeing where, like, it could happen. It looks super good. Thank you. Listen, if you want full body tracking yourself, check out Spawn. If I could talk, check out Somatic VR. They sent me this, and you can use code YJBay for a discount at checkout. That's why you're much more movable. Yes, I can. I'm moving my arms and stuff. I'm moving, like, my upper body. So we have more, like, movement from me. I have a question. In which country which country was the police report made? I'm not sure on that. I think that might be discussed later. We'll see. So continuing through this, he is saying here, because she says, it's obvious that you care and just didn't know how bad my anxiety problems really were. He responds, it's why I'm trying to not overthink everything, but it's really hard right now. I appreciate you talking to me right now, though, because it's helping. I apologize for stressing you out. She says, I'm glad it's been helping. I've been replying between Unite matches, hint slow, which I feel like is also fucked up that, like, she couldn't stop playing Pokemon Unite to, like, console her partner who's obviously going through something right now. It's a little fucked up. It's a little fucked up in my mind. But, she continues saying that, you said it's obvious I have big love for my family and friends and pets, so it means the world to me when people make the effort to get to know me, like my roommates. Cause you ain't wrong. They are family to me, so we're gonna take you bowling. We're gonna game. It's gonna be fun. I'm still letting you into a part of my world, so I obviously don't hate you. I'm not mad at you either. I had fun at the museum. It was nice, and I'm glad you came with me. He says, I am too. It was super cool to actually see this stuff in person. Never have seen anything like that. She says, rough start doesn't mean it has to be a fully rough trip, you know? And then she also says, I'm really sorry for any disappointment I've been. And he says, I'm sorry for any disappointment I've caused. And there's just more back and forth here. I'm trying to see. She says here, I wish I wasn't so fucked up. But it is what it is. Thank you for being kind when dealing with me. Oh, hi, Risky. Welcome in. How's it going? What I wonder now is what about those Red Claw comments. Red Claw comments? What do you mean? What do you mean about that? I'm trying to see if there's any, like, thing really that, like, is discussed in this.
Huh?
This is where she starts to talk about her issues and, like, the things that she's... Oh, okay. She starts to talk about the things that, like, she has dealt with. She said, it's incredibly embarrassing that I spent an entire night crying at you, but you were very sweet in handling it. You did good. I enjoyed watching a reality show and finding the One Piece characters. He says, like, God, I was half asleep, but I did what I could. She goes, nah, there are a lot of people who are uber cruel when I get into the States like that. She says, I've literally been beaten and strangled because of it. He says, I'm so fucking sorry that happened. Which she replies, which unsurprisingly does not help, can confirm that that's the worst way to handle panic attacks. And she says, humor is like my style. If you don't laugh, you cry. Sometimes you do both. But they, like, going into kind of like what she's dealt with in like that message there. And he says, like, I'm feeling so much better, like, because before we started chatting, I was genuinely in a panic attack of my own. She's saying, I'm genuinely sorry to hear that you were having one of those. They suck, and I wish they weren't a thing any of us had. He says that his therapist has helped him out, and that, like, the chatting has been helping, and it's eased his fear and anxiety. She's glad she can help. She says, get some sleep, yada yada. They start talking about, like, an event for, like, tickets or whatnot. It looks like they're, like, going to see something. And then here she's saying, think you can handle, like, a classic Doom household hangout. He says, I think I should be able to. And then he says, I'll be honest, I'm still a little bit stressed by everything, but I'm empathetic to your situation and how you feel. The thing is, I was cool with going out to your place for a day and meeting everybody, but I really did travel out here to spend time with you. She responds saying, you're spending Tuesday with just me. He says, I'm aware there was plenty of miscommunication about everything with how I planned this trip, and a lot of that is on me. And she responds here saying, going around the actual Cambridge town and stuff was just going to be the two of us. It's only Monday that you're hanging out with my roommates. He says, and please no, I don't think of hanging out with your roommates as a negative thing. She says, I only planned the Monday to be with my roommates, and the Tuesday and Wednesday was going to do solo stuff with you. He says, sounds good, and I really do appreciate it. Let me... Someone in chat, aka, you think the Red Claw was okay? Wait, what does Red Claw have to do with anything? I'm so... Red Claw saying stuff about... Oh, that was in Adora's message, yeah. That's how she got the info. It's from Red Claw. Yeah, communication skills are 2 out of 10. That's very true. Is there a different person? Red Claw's not in any of these screenshots right now. Okay, thank you for the TLDRs. Recently, he took down his commentary video because there was a lot of negative comments. Oh, interesting. I wasn't aware of any of that, but... Okay, well, continuing with this, going through their screenshots. Again, this is like 45 pages of screenshots, so I'm not reading everything. I'm kind of skimming through it to see when something of importance is actually, like, brought up, like them discussing. So far, really, Taka just seems upset that, like, he's not getting to spend a lot of time with her, which, I mean, I can't be too, like... I understand it. Like, I get it. I get why he's, like, kind of upset about it, because he traveled, like, 24 hours to spend time with this girl, and isn't getting to, and, like, he's also very understanding of, like, her issues in the fact that, like, he's not, it's just him expressing how he's feeling, too. So far, it's just communication. Like, all that's happening right now is communication. Some communication should have happened beforehand, but that's all that's going on at the moment. Kind of shook of her reaction after 9 years acting completely different. Yes, yeah, that's really it. That's really what's going on. And he says, let's see, something here. He says, all plans tonight didn't come to fruition or were canceled. I'm not in a good place right now. She says, that sucks. I'm so sorry to hear that. He says, I actually asked my friend more directly about hanging out, and he is actually hanging out with his buds, and he invited me, so I'm going to go. I'm happy this is working out tonight. I was worried I was just not going to have much to do, but I'm going to step out of my comfort zone and go hang with my friends and his friends. After a good night's sleep, I'm feeling better. I actually got 8. And then he says, when I go out to Cambridge, can I use your laundry or do you use a local laundromat? So going back into discussing like plans again, because it seems like what is being said here? Because some plans change where he ends up going to spend time with other people instead. So okay, and then Saturday, because right now he's hanging out with his friends. Oh, before I go into this, let me gotta stop videoing. Oh my god. Also, I was wearing that same ring. Oh my goodness. Okay, I didn't have to read all of that. So, while Taka's out, EJ sends this. She says, so like, I just want to clear this up tonight before I head to London tomorrow in case you decide you don't want me to come, but I'm heading back to London as a friend. I just want to friendo hang out, get to know you as a friend. I know that might suck for you, but I realize I really have to know people as a friend to get comfortable with them. So no like intimacy or such or touching me all the time that I know that might be upsetting for you, but I really just want to be friends. So if you don't want to come to wrestling with if you don't want me to come to wrestling with you, that's fine. But I just really want to clear this up and have you understand where I'm at. I'm sorry for any upset that I might have caused. He says, I appreciate you telling me directly, as this was what I was assuming from what you had said last night. I respect where you're coming from, and I want you to know that I understand. She says, I'm super glad you understand. I know this isn't exactly what you were hoping for. I understand if you don't want me to come to the wrestling and respect you might want the space. He says that I apologize for my part of the miscommunication, and I'm so sorry that me visiting has brought up so much unexpected things. I know this hasn't been easy on you, and I feel terrible about that. I hope you don't think less of me because of it. He says, she responds, you're still a good friend. Don't worry. I don't hate you or anything. I want to make this not as rough for you, but you should know I'm not one for bullshit. I'm pretty blunt. Do you still want me to come to the wrestling? It's totally fine. If not, I'll have to come to London either way for my stuff. He says, sorry, I'm on the way back to my hotel right now. You absolutely need to get your stuff. He asks, are you comfortable going to the wrestling event? Because I'm gonna be real, and like I feel like he's getting this vibe too. It sounds like she really just wants to back out from everything. That's like the vibe that I'm getting. I think it's the vibe that he's getting, which is why he asked. But she's only now communicating that she's not like she like doesn't want to do anything intimate, and like even in this communication she's still beating around the bush and like kind of like if you don't want me to come, I understand. Like, if you don't want me to be there, I know this isn't what you wanted. So if you don't want me there, like, which, like, I think he's getting that same vibe and asks, like, are you comfortable going to this event? Because she then says again, if you want me there, yeah, I'm down to hang out. Like, it's totally fine to hang out. You're still welcome to come to whatever as well. And then he asks, can you give me a few to respond? I need to take a shower. If you want to come out to the event and hang out with me and see it, that would be cool though. I don't want you to feel forced to spend the night at the hotel if you want to head home after the event. As for Cambridge, I think I need to think about it as this has all been an incredibly large amount for me to emotionally process properly. And she asked, do you know what time the event ends? He says, I believe it ends around 9:30 to 10. She says, trains are uber sucky tomorrow, so I think maybe it's best I don't go and just come collect my stuff Monday when the trains are back to normal. Trains legit only go to Totemham, Hale, and then I'd have to do 36 underground with multiple switches to get to you, which I really don't think I could do alone, with the luggage and make the train. He says, I completely understand and we can make that work. She says, legit, there isn't enough time to get to Wembley to the train station. I would miss the last train home. I don't know why, but tomorrow there are no trains direct to King's Cross. Oh, wait, what's going on? Heard he was accused before and the feeling stayed with him. Oh. I mean, how people never ask my side. Okay. I see what y'all are saying. All my peeps in relationships fucking talk and be honest. Don't be like that. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Literally from everything so far, she is the problem here. She's not clearly communicating. He's like trying to understand what she is and isn't comfortable with, and she's not directly telling him and just beating around the bush and making excuses. I don't feel any empathy towards her right now. And again, maybe I haven't, because like what I'm thinking is the intimacy part that happened back on like what, Friday, where they were intimate, like, and he said he got consent 3 different times, mind you. He got consent for 3 acts 3 times, and she never revoked it once. It feels like she's regretting what she did then, and is now saying why she doesn't want to be like lovey-dovey or anything, and she doesn't want to do any hugs or things like that. It sounds like she's just regretting what she did in the past, but she consented in the past and did not revoke consent at any point in time. Don't be afraid of breaking something that wouldn't work. If you have issues, people will either be able to handle it or not, but don't blindside people. Exactly! She has poor communication after a series event. She accuses him of SA when it wasn't the case. That, yeah. She could also just say that she doesn't want to have sex with him. Yes! That's the problem, is she's just not saying how, like, she's feeling. She's just not communicating, and I don't understand why. Like, it's, I don't know. So they go, there's more talk back and forth about like the trains and whatnot. She's showing screenshots, yada yada. He's confused about it because obviously he doesn't. What even is communication? Something these motherfuckers don't know. Why tell someone who's flown across an ocean what's up? Also, safe words. Yes, safe words. You should have safe words for everything, not just for the hardcore stuff. You should always have a safe word. Oh my god. So she's more back and forth about the stops and everything. I think that's all that's like discussed here. There's some confusion. Hold on. So, because he's asking when to hang out, and she says the trains are a non-issue on Monday. And he said, I thought we've been talking about Monday the whole time. And she says, oh, I thought we were still talking, so I couldn't come to the wrestling event. The trains are a non-issue on Monday, but you said you didn't want to come to Cambridge. He's like, sorry, I'm so super confused right now. Says, okay, so what I was trying to sort out was me being able to still go to the wrestling with you and get back to Cambridge that night, since you said you didn't want to head to Cambridge. And he sends a screenshot where she's saying the trains are sucky tomorrow, so I think maybe it's best I don't go and just come collect my stuff on Monday when the trains are normal. Yada yada. He says, you'll have to forgive me. My assumption was that you said you said this, you didn't want to come out on Sunday. By tomorrow, I thought you meant today, because we started the conversation around 12:30. So they're just going through a back and forth of figuring out what day they're actually talking about. It was after midnight, that kind of stuff. And he says, I was so confused. She says, I entirely understand why you shouldn't have to travel all the way to Cambridge to bring me my shit. He said, I wasn't suggesting that. I was suggesting me going to the train station from Cambridge so you avoid the underground entirely on Monday, because you mentioned you didn't want to deal with the trains. I just want to confirm that you don't want to come out for the wrestling event, correct? Wrestling event being on Sunday. She says, clarify for me, you aren't coming to Cambridge Monday if I was with you and heading back, right? Like, I can get to London, Liverpool Street, yada yada. My only option back Sunday is to get an hour and a half long, 150-pound Uber. And he asked what time is the last train. She sends it, so not enough time to get to the other train station. He says, would you be comfortable just attending half of the show and leaving early so you can catch the last train? And she asked, where would I store my suitcase? She says, like, at this point, I just watch the show, then head back to your hotel, grab my stuff, and order an Uber. It's about what I would pay on your hotels in Cambridge, but I sort of need to sort this out relatively soon because I'd have to get an early train to get to you with enough time to get ready. He asks again, would you be comfortable doing that? She then responds, do you want me at the wrestling show? He says, only if you actually want to go to it and hang out. I know how much traveling and closeness outside of your home stresses you out, so I don't feel comfortable asking now. See, this is my issue. Also, thank you for the Queen's Care package. Is that she's not answering his questions. He's very clearly asking her these questions. He's saying, like, are you comfortable with this? And she's just responding with another question. He's like, I don't want to do anything that's going to make you feel uncomfortable. And she's just skipping over it. She's just skipping over it completely. And so I don't. At least 5% of people are screaming about her mental health. You're being a jerk and being guilty. Why? And this dude essentially handling this by himself. Like, I legit believe his supposed friends who decided to distance himself from him aren't going to say anything or do anything to help. Like, they didn't directly drag him, but they collectively soft dragged him. No, you are absolutely right on that. This is weird. If I was him, I would have gave up on the damn questioning and gone home. Well, I mean, that's the awful thing about this is that, like, he very much cares for her. He very much cares for her. He is trying to get this to, like, work because, again, they've been, like, on and off or, like, together basically for 9 years. And so, like, for, like, that long a period, he's really trying to make anything work, but she's being so awful about it. Which I don't get it. I don't get it. So he's saying here, that's where this ends, is like, I know how much, like, traveling makes you, like, stress. And she asked, you come back with me to the hotel and see me off in the Uber, yeah? So, like, she's just not answering his questions. So back to the document though. He continues by saying, the next day she sent an unambiguous breakup message, expanding on her text from the previous day. This was a shock to me and I was heartbroken to my core. However, I felt the romantic split was amicable and was hopeful that our long-standing friendship was still strong. Despite being thoroughly devastated, I told her that I understood and respected where she was coming from. She appreciated this and told me she still wanted me to come visit her on her hometown during my trip. And so, oh, hold on. She could have just blocked him and be left with what the fuck just happened. Honestly, 9 years and not living with each other is crazy. Well, it was like a long distance thing. And so 9 years of one anticipation time, etc. That shit is hard enough to keep up with 1 year, let alone 9. Well, I don't think it was the full 9 years, because as he, like, started the beginning of his... Okay, I know where I'm at. As he started the beginning of this, he, like, met her at a convention. Like, they've known each other for 9 years. They haven't been together for 9 years. They've known each other for 9 years. They didn't really start getting together until, I think, like, they saw each other in 2019, and I think maybe in, like, 2020 is when, like, they were actually getting together. Because he says after, he was in a relationship at the wedding, which was in 2019. He says several months after the wedding, he ended that relationship and then started being with her, and their conversations were like, he says throughout COVID, the relationship was on again, off again, but they constantly communicated until they got into VTubing. And then it was in April of 24 that he booked to see her in August of 24. Me and Moby are long distance, and that would drive us both nuts. Yeah, because y'all actually communicate, and, like, both of you care for each other strongly. I don't feel like she cares. 2024? You said, I'm so sorry. I meant to say 2024 if I said 2004 at any point. I feel like she enjoyed, and, like, obviously, I don't know this bitch, but I feel like she enjoyed the thoughts of talking and, like, potentially being with somebody, but not in any type of physical aspect. And so the fact that Taka made it a physical thing instead of it being strictly online and only really talk, I don't think she wanted that. Yeah, I think she enjoyed the idea of it, but not the reality of it. But like once it, like, really came to a head, she no longer wanted it. So we get into the breakup text. Sorry I'm late. What did I miss? Batty, I'll be honest, I feel like I feel like this is like the most egregious form of miscommunication, and like not only miscommunication but bad communication from this Mistress Doom VT, or EJ as she's referred to in the document, and Takahata. And I put this on EJ specifically because Taka is constantly in these messages trying to get clear communication out of her, and she just refuses. So this is where the breakup message comes out. Oh, this was in the previous things where she talks about not wanting to do any intimacy stuff. And they go over like the wrestling thing, trying to figure that out. I think this is just the same set of screenshots. Yeah. Yeah, this is the same set of screenshots. I don't know why they're separated out like this. Bad communication that borders misinformation. Yes. Kuro, you are on it. You are on it with the descriptions. It doesn't mean genuinely bad. Taka's trying to communicate and she won't budge for months. Adora and her friends ran with a lie that he has hated her. Yeah, like that's what it... That's... Oh. Lee Games, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. How's it going? Moth sent me to tell you that you are built like the Greek letter sigma. I don't know what the Greek letter sigma looks like, I'll be honest. Not off the top of my head. Also, I keep like rotating too hard to the side. There we go. Anyways, back into this. So where was I at? Oh, the breakup text. It's like an E but bent. Oh, that one's Sigma? Okay. So he says then we talked about her coming to the AEW show, and I asked if she was so comfortable doing so. We went back and forth and said that she was worried about getting home in time. I had already said that I did not want any way for her to expect to stay that night, as being away from home would be causing her undue stress. I told her I was willing to leave the show early to help her get the train back home. I was adamant the whole time that I did not want her to do anything she wasn't comfortable with, and I did not want her to feel obligated, as her anxiety was now clearly debilitating. The next day, in the early afternoon, she arrived at the hotel with one of her roommates / carers. I was happy with this because it helped her anxiety. We decided she would pack up her stuff and we would leave it with the front desk so she could grab it on her way out later that evening. We all went out to the wrestling event, but when we got to the stadium, there was a fair crowd of people, and I could tell she was starting to get really, really nervous. So I asked her if she honestly felt comfortable going to the show at all, just as I had asked her many times leading up to this. She replied that there were way too many people and she needed to go home. I was naturally disappointed, but I did not take it personally, as her anxiety was clearly overwhelming. So she left with her friend, who would wait nearby till she wanted to head home, so she would have someone to travel with. I saw the show alone. And so this is an attachment of going to the event. Okay, so this is a continuation from those previous screenshots where you see in this time and time again, he is asking if she's comfortable doing these things. Yeah, like, why did she even come? She was never comfortable doing it. And he even says, yes, I want to go to the event with you, but I'm worried about how uncomfortable you're going to make yourself. Like, I'm genuinely worried. And she says, we power through. Just text me while I'm in the Uber. So, like, I'm so mad. I'm just so agitated with the fact that she is just, like, she is putting herself in these positions. Like, she is putting herself in this predicament when she knows damn well she doesn't want to be in it. Just tell him that. He's asked you time and time again. Just let him know you aren't comfortable. That's okay. That's what he's asking for. Oh my gosh. And so this is just them talking about it back and forth, yada yada, talking about the tickets, all that. And he says, please don't push yourself through the stress. It's going to cause harm. I beg of you. She says, I'll manage. Care for me, sure, but I'll work through it. I know how much this means to you. Oh, excuse me. This is them, like, talking back and forth. Her roommate / carers here. And then she says, all the trains home are canceled because the track broke. Enjoy your wrestling. I'm going all over to get home. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened. And she tried to get an Uber, but it got canceled. She's asking about like the show, like if the seats are good. He says not, or she says not too shabby. Sends a screenshot or selfie. They're trapped in London, yada yada. I think they get an Uber and they're able to like go back home. I'm just, I it's giving massive victim combo. It really is. Both people have various health issues. Both have to understand each other before getting a serious escape or give it a shot, but understand along the way. That's the thing, is only one side is being understanding in this. That's my issue. I'm so agitated with her in this, and that like she is not being understanding in anything, and she's not communicating, and then expecting something to happen when she's not communicating. Okay, so we got through that. He says, but throughout all of this, EJ had been inviting me to spend time in her hometown, and she had said that she and her roommates were willing to pay for the hotel there, which we've seen that in screenshots. Had the events of our nights together been, as she later claimed, this enthusiasm to meet again would have been a complete contradiction, but by this point, I wasn't sure I wanted to visit her home, given how much she had pulled back on our plans already, so I told her I would think about it. So the next day, after AEW All In, I asked her to remind me about the plan for me going to her hometown. She said yet again that she would like me to visit, but now since it was past Monday, the plans would need to change. We would not be seeing her friends and animals. Instead, she would visit historical sites there with me one-on-one. At this point, I was heartbroken and depressed, and I did not feel comfortable hanging out and one-on-one with her. I decided to go back to British Columbia and cut my trip short. So let me go into these screenshots. Let me define the victim causes feelings. You are a constant victim in your relationships and life experiences. Yeah. That's... Yeah, not me, I googled it. Chemistry. Honestly, you kind of feel like she now doesn't want to be anywhere near him, but keeps leading him on. Yes. That, like, that's my issue, is that she's uncomfortable. Hold on, let me close out of all of these other screenshots and stuff. I think she is uncomfortable, but is just not communicating it to him, and he's asking her time and time again, are you comfortable? And she's not answering truthfully. She's just not saying, I'm uncomfortable. I don't know. Just want to point out, Googling it took less time than asking ChatGPT to give me the wrong answer. You're right. So this is him saying, let me go back up. She says, if I came out tomorrow, what would we get up to? Like you mentioned, you wanted to show me some places and hang out with your friends. I'll probably head out that last train. And she says, like, we're in a historic city. And he says, what time is the last train usually? She responds, I wouldn't recommend getting the last train just in case what happened yesterday to me happens again. He says, so you wouldn't want me to meet at your place at all? She says, no, I mean, like, don't get the latest train possible. He says, sorry, I should have prefaced this better. Preface this, what I said better. She says, like, leave the few trains before the last one out of Cambridge runs. He asks, do you still want me to meet your pets and everything? She says, can we put a pin in this till later? I'm just hanging out. I'm just heading out to hang with friends and gotta drive. I thought you meant just come hang for the day. Was that not what you meant? He says, I was referring to you mentioning yesterday / the other day that part of coming out would be hanging out with you and meeting some of your friends and meeting your animals as well. You mentioned meeting your animals many times. And she says, you don't gotta meet my animals. The neurologically challenged dog is being really bad, and me and the vets have no clue what to do. Honestly, I think you'd hate my pets. They are a lot, and I get that. If you come to Cambridge, I'll show you Cambridge, but not my house. And then I think this is where he decides to return to Canada. Let me find where I was at. He says, on Monday, he says, I feel as though our initial plans to hang out with each other and do more together switched. Therefore, I am missing home badly and I am disconnected from my own bubble. So, as exciting as it was to meet up and see some cool things in London, I'm afraid I might have to cut my trip short for my mental health reasons, as I'm dealing with a lot right now away from my own support network. She says that's totally fair. Do what you need for your mental health. If you can get a flight home early, go for it. We both got to do what's right for our own mental health. There's no way I'd tell you to push through your mental health and cause yourself damage. So that's where it ends for the trip, is Taka goes back home, cuts his trip short, and EJ seems supportive and encouraged me to do what's best for my mental health. This, though, is where we get really into it, because Taka says, once I arrived back at my home, I was horrified to receive a message from her accusing me of sexual misconduct since she had been sedated and could not give consent. And now we get into what was sent then. She says, hey, I know you're probably still super stressed out from the trip and everything, because I know I'm still recovering and I'm going to be for a real long while, but I really need to talk to you about something. One, I do not wish to work with your VODs channel any longer, so please take this as myself and Jimmy resigning effective immediately. I request you remove me as your channel manager from your YouTube and as a moderator from your Twitch. I won't be doing any work for you going forward, as I simply am not comfortable. Two, this is a big one. What happened Thursday really wasn't okay, and I genuinely need to know what you understand, or know that you understand that your actions weren't okay. I'm talking to you about this because we used to be friends, so I'm giving you a chance to do what little you can and take accountability here. I was not in a good headspace, and you knew that. I was drugged up on sedatives for my panic attacks, a strong sleeping med, and had mentioned multiple times that I wanted to be friends, but you told me I hadn't just led you on, had I, and kept making advances the entire night and pushed for sex. Whether you think you weren't pushing or not, I was not in a headspace where I could consent properly. You should never have tried anything on me with me that day, but you did. It doesn't matter if we had been sexual via text, in person. You should have respected me and my boundaries. I've spoken to my therapists and support groups, and I know it wasn't okay. Believe me, I blamed myself for a while, but I know that's just wrong. It was messed up, and it's why I can't be your friend right now. I can't leave you thinking that was okay, because I don't want you doing and hurting someone else. Oh, where was I at? Doing and hurting someone else this way. You need to own up to how messed up all of Thursday was. Right now, I can't smile and pretend to be professional with you because you majorly screwed up and hurt me. So I'm not going to pretend we are good, because we aren't, and I refuse to be fake, but I'm trying to talk it out with you. I understand this is scary for both of us. Oh my God. There's an ad break coming in 2 minutes. I'm not going to continue reading on until those ads play. But holy shit. She practically ran circles around him and dropped a bomb on him, making the... Yes! Yes! This bitch is battier than Jay. I don't get this. I don't get how we got to this. Like, it genuinely sounds like, I'm being so dead ass, it genuinely sounds like she's just regretting having sex with him, but she consented to it. That's all this is she regrets doing it. Am I crazy? Like, they are constantly talking. She's never fully clear with what she's feeling and how she's, like, dealing with things. And I just think she regrets it. Either she just made it up in her brain somehow, or someone helped her convince herself that's what's happening. Yes! One of those two things happened. That's... I don't. I'm really just speechless. I'm really just speechless right now because like I I don't know how in Taka's situation. Oh, thank you for the Queen's Care package. I don't know how in his situation he was supposed to avoid this. Yeah, to play devil's advocate, you're right. You're right. We don't know what happened in person, but the lack of any ability to communicate, like, is not helping her at all. Hold on. While the ads play, I'm gonna recalibrate my tracking real quick. I feel like it's slightly off. Ooh, I gotta stand up for it. Okay, let me do that. Set mounting. Okay, that's better. Yeah, oh, man. Yeah, they just only go by her word, too, throughout all. So, I'm very curious as to, because Taka does provide, hold on. Let me also, can I recalibrate this? I'm gonna try recalibrating my hand real quick. Because I think the screenshots she sent out is basically this message and then everything after this. And, like, does not include any of basically the context that Taka gives to, like, the public, I'd say here. Let me... Which way am I? Oh, I rotated way too far. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Hi Queens, welcome in. We got an ad break going right now, so I'm paused going through everything. Weird, I'm back. Sometimes it doesn't like play the full ads. I don't know. Into is popular and yeah. But please pay. Well, I'm gone. I can't save you from risky yet. Make sure you stay pretty calm there. I will not stop my mods from exacting whatever punishments they feel. But I'm just so extremely frustrated. Like that is the only way to describe like the feeling. It's just I'm so frustrated by like what's going on here. I'm so frustrated by her inability to communicate. And what it genuinely seems that she is just regretting what she did. My feelings are extreme. Yeah. I'm waiting until we get back from the ad so I can read what, because I want to see how Taka responds to this. And, like, where it goes from here. Because I think these sets of screenshots is, like, what was shared everywhere. To be fair, Gamma's been good to stream. That's true. I'm very impressed by how calm Gamma's been. I hope he keeps it up. Just a gum punch of I've seen those exact things before. Yeah. Okay. Welcome back from the ads, everybody. I'm going to continue going through this. So, we've gone through Goddess. Oh, you've come at the peak of it all. And I have to read Taka's response to this. So Taka says, I feel awful. I would never want anyone. So before I get into it, recap, Takahata went to the UK or wherever, to visit his on and off girl of like a couple of years at this point. It sounds like that one day they fucked. Taka in his document says that he got consent 3 separate times for 3 separate acts during that time. After that, she was very wishy-washy the rest of the trip. They had a bunch of plans. They ended up falling through. Taka left the trip early because it just wasn't getting together. And then she just dropped this bombshell on him that he SA'd her that night. Because she wasn't in the right headspace and he was pressing her and pushing her and basically coerced her into doing something that she didn't want to do. So, summary there. So Taka's response to that, he says, I feel awful. I would never want anyone to feel this way. I'm mortified at the prospect of taking advantage of anyone's body autonomy when I asked for consent throughout the entire process. If at any moment I had received a signal from you that it was not okay, then I would have stopped. I firmly believe that consent can be revoked at any point in the actual act, which is why I asked every step of the way. I am sorry for any hurt that was done inadvertently. My understanding was that Thursday was a completely consensual act between us. Again, I regret and am mortified if I misunderstood this. I would never want to cause anyone any pain or distress, especially not you, who I held dear to my heart. I just want you to be as well as you can and take care of your needs at this time. It was never my intention to cause you any pain. Given my past personal experience, believe me when I say I would never want anyone to experience non-consensual touching or a lack of body autonomy at my hands, and I take that very seriously. She responds, did you read and actually take in what I said to you in the previous message? I'm telling you, it has hurt me and wasn't okay. There's no ifs there. You have hurt me. You claim you cared deeply for me, yet you downplayed my mental health issues to a dangerous degree, pressured and took me away from all of my safety network, and made advances all while I was in a drugged up state and had nowhere to go. None of that is okay, and it's concerning if you think it is. I made it clear to you I was in a mental health crisis, and yet you still pushed. I'm making it clear here it was not is not okay, and if you can't accept that, then there's no conversation to be had here. I don't get why you think a crying, panicked, drugged up girl who had asked you would be mad if they just wanted to be friends, wanted sexual advances in sex. I'm even more baffled you think a panicked mental health crisis drugged up person is in a state of mind where they could make informed consent. Wait, I lost it. Oh, here we go. Could make informed consent. Even worse here is all I'm asking for you is an actual apology for putting me through all that you did. This is insane. This is actually insane. Even her response to what he says is insane because again, we don't know what happened in person. There's no evidence of that. But from everything, I just don't believe her. I'll be honest, I don't believe Taka pressured her into doing anything. He's so very clear about making sure she's comfortable. And he is very clear here that he asked for consent. He believes consent can be revoked. I just don't think he did. He did what she's saying he did. And the fact that she's responding so aggressively of like, I don't care what you think. I was in a vulnerable state and you should have known better. Like, and even said, even was like, do you think I could have made those when I said I just wanted to be friends? Which she didn't say until after, by the way. She said that stuff after this had already happened. It just sounds like regret. Oh my God, Sleepy, hi! Welcome in! There's a lot going on. There's a lot happening, I'll be so honest. Yes, this is days after. I don't know what day this actually is, because it only says yesterday on here. So I'm assuming I think this is Tuesday that this happened, because it looks like he headed back to Canada on Monday. I think this is Tuesday that she drops this on him. I don't think he did it. I really don't. I really and genuinely don't think he did this. This is one of those situations where communication is very important. Yes, communication is fucking abysmal. And it's fucking abysmal from one side, which is the worst part of it all. Yeah, this is so bad. And so Taka responds and he says, I'm so fucking sorry. I want you to genuinely know I'm fucking horrified by this and genuinely feel terrible about visiting. I hope you believe me when I say I thought your anxiety reaction to everything on Thursday was about being away from home, away from your bubble and support network. That was my mistake and I am so fucking sorry. I would never have even remotely pushed us in that direction or would have asked you to come out and visit me if I had thought otherwise. When we hung out, and please believe me when I say this, I did not pick up on you just wanting to be friends. That was my fault and I'm sorry and I profoundly apologize for not using better judgment in interpreting everything. Had I known the extent of the state of your conditions, I would have not asked you to come out. I interpreted the situation completely wrong and hurt you in the process. I'm so fucking sorry and I feel truly awful. Out of respect for our relationship over the years, from the bottom of my heart, I am sincerely sorry. I hate to say it, but the lawyers are gonna eat her up. Yes! Yeah, no, they absolutely are. I don't want to say anything because I wasn't there in person, so we can't really say that it actually was. From everything that I'm able to see here in the screenshot messages and what Taka said and just like things that I've heard too, and we are going to get into her statement because she did make a statement herself. I just don't believe things transpired the way she's describing it. I do believe the way Takahata is describing it is more closely to what actually transpired. There's always, like we said earlier, there's three sides to the story, your side, my side, and the truth. I get that. I think Taka's story is closer to the truth than hers is. I think communication is the theme for damn near every drama you've covered. Yes, yeah, the drama happens from bad communication. Point blank. What's the proof that he hasn't showed through mess? I don't know. Is it more of an issue of her using this poor man? He was communicating, she understood and then did what she did. Just Takahata, is this more of that one group with Alicia in it? Yeah, Alicia's tied to this, yes. She kind of tied herself to this, I will say. Her response making it, oh god, okay. So, that's Takahata's apology, too, because, you know, EJ's just saying all she's asking for is an actual apology for putting me through all that you did. Okay. So, Taka continues and says, I was shocked as I never knew she was sedated. She had told me that she needed the pills to live. I thought she was exhausted as I had been. I did not think she was intoxicated, let alone incapable of giving consent. I went into this thinking this woman loved me. She had encouraged me to believe this. To have her pull back from me devastated me. I had been understanding and accepted when she said she wanted less intimacy and to be friends instead, no matter how much it broke my heart. But now she was making this allegation, which I knew was simply untrue. I could not understand what was happening. So I went over the events of those few days in my mind. This has been a sad and difficult time with conflicting messages and mixed signals, but I knew that I had asked for and received her consent at every stage of intimacy. She clearly had been wrestling with issues and anxiety, but she had explained and I had believed that these were issues related to her fear of being away from home. These had not been presented as issues with being with me. She didn't at any point suggest that she had an issue with being intimate until after the fact. I wish she had been clearer and more honest with me about the specificity. Golly, I just couldn't get through that. The specificity of her issues and what her limits were. This has been a terrible moment of failing to communicate properly. Yes, I misread the severity of the situation and I am profoundly devastated. I'm still processing this heartbreak and at the same time, I wouldn't wish this on anybody. We have both clearly been hurt by miscommunication, but I was profoundly shocked and filled with sadness when, after my visit, 5 months later, EJ began sharing claims with several of our mutual friends. She alleged that I had sexually assaulted her and I coerced her into being intimate after she had expressed a desire to simply remain friends. These claims simply did not align with the reality of our relationship, and I still have the written messages to prove this. Her version of events also altered the timeline of our trip planning and omitted key context, such as the fact that we had been in an on and off relationship for 9 years, during which time we had twice met in person and shared many intensely sexual interactions virtually, online, and through text leading up to the trip. Friends of mine gave me insight into what was being said once this became apparent. Fortunately, I'm fortunate to have friends who have known me for many years and who question the accuracy of what they were being told. With their permission, I'm sharing some of the messages and Discord exchanges they sent me, which reflect their perspective, support, and help provide a fuller picture of the situation. And so we have another doc linked into this one. Allegations made, evidence from Bo, which is Bo Sheep. Let me zoom in on this real quick. And so, hold on, before I go into this. Should tie yourself to anything that's on fire. Devil loves fire. Oh my god. This is crazy. I'm worried with interacting with folks who have terrible mental health, crazy anxiety. They tend to be bad at communicating and never know how they feel in the moment. Did he hang out with her for a while before laying down with her? It's obvious something's up with her. He shouldn't have slept with her. I'm not blaming her, but you know what I mean. It was... She explained that she had anxieties and like mental health problems, and he said he had also struggled with his mental health. He didn't realize basically the severity of her mental health, and I'll be honest, I don't feel like she communicated the severity of her mental health, because a lot of times, and even you saw it in we saw it in the messages before, where whenever they were talking about going to like the wrestling event, she was like, oh, you know, I might feel anxious, but you know, I'll just power through it. Like she portrays her issues as not as severe as they are, and then backtracks after the fact in saying, oh, you should have known they were this severe, when he really shouldn't have. I don't see how he would know. Hold on. She was back. Yeah, she, like, even in her accusation, she changed the timeline of things. She said that he pressured her into doing this whenever she had communicated to him that she just wanted to be friends, and then he made the sexual advances. But that did not happen until after this situation happened, when she sent the message of talking about like, hey, let me see if I can find it. It wasn't until after this happened that she sent like a breakup message. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. That's him going. Here we go. Clarifying friendship. Yeah, she said it wasn't until like 2 days later she says, hey, I want to clear this up tonight before I head to London, that I just want to do like a friend hangout, get to know you as a friend. I know that might suck for you, but I realize I really have to get to know people as a friend to be comfortable with them. They had already had the like sexual encounter when she's like, that had happened 2 days ago by the time she sent that message. That had happened on Thursday. This message was sent on Saturday. But then in her accusation towards him, she says that, you know, I don't know why you think a panicked, drugged up girl who had asked if you would be mad if they just wanted to be friends, wanted sexual advances and sex. You did not ask that until after this happened. She's literally in like we see it there. She is flipping the timeline and changing the script. Now, again, we don't know what happened in that night. Obviously, maybe I doubt it happened, but maybe that night she talked about just wanting to be friends and hanging out. We don't know for sure. Our only show of her saying that is three days later. 3 days later is when she actually communicates that to him. And that's my issue here, is that she is not communicating things to him, and he's asking her specifically to communicate. I'm very agitated by this. I wish people had better access to mental health facilities, because yes. And so like, I don't feel like, again, obviously she has a lot going on mentally, but if you can't communicate that to this person that you have been intimate with online for years at this point, I can't feel that bad. I cannot feel that like that bad that this like that you didn't do this, that like that you did not communicate these things to him, and then you are now regretting your decision and trying to backtrack on it and saying that it was SA when you consented to it. It sucks that like it seems to have very negatively affected her, but it shouldn't have happened, and that was on her. That was her responsibility for it to not have happened at all. Is genuinely how I like view this. Oh, hey, extra. Yeah, we got a lot going on here. Sorry. Yeah, if you can communicate your needs, you don't need to pursue a relationship in any capacity. 100%. She should have never been in a relationship. Point blank. Period. My biggest issue with this is doing that will make more people doubt those accusations. Just like yes, and that's always the issue, is that whenever people don't communicate properly, you make it harder for actual victims who did communicate and like were in just a complete no contest, like SA happened to them. You make this harder for them. Repairs Alicia, she still has her Hellsing watch along collab with Taka uploaded, which is bizarre considering she's to do is guilty. Oh no, she should have asked to take it slow or just take it upon herself. She was not ready for that. Exactly. That's my thing, is she was not in a position to do this. She was not in a position to do this, but she never communicated the fact that she wasn't in a position to do this in the way that she should have. She played down, I feel she played down her mental health issues until it got up to the moment where they really showed, and that's whenever she starts backing away from Taka and making excuses as to why they can't meet up and stuff like that. But until then, she downplayed her issues, and how is this man supposed to know if you don't communicate? Like, I can understand going through mental health struggles, but like to rewrite things and really not communicate these until afterwards is at best irresponsible, at worst manipulative. Yes, exactly that. Every time I was used to give me a new red flag to look out for, yeah. Hey honey, these meds are going to fuck me up, so snoo is a no-go. Yeah, literally as simple as that! It's his fault that he didn't telepathically read your mind. That's what it feels like. That's genuinely what it feels like, is it's his fault that he did not telepathically figure out what was going on there. It's bad all around. She comes across as dishonest in this. Not saying she is. People are just gonna think she's a liar, crazy, sadly, when she just seems troubled. No, and I mean, I'll be honest, even Taka is saying that, like, which I did criticize this at the start, but I am gonna go back to it because it was good that he included this. He says that he does not feel like she lied because lying is a deliberate falsehood, cold, deliberate, rational, but an untruth can be sprung from a deeper place, from a heart that has no place in the reality it's being asked to acknowledge and set in its own truth. He's basically saying that, like, he understands that she did not mean this in the way that, like, it happened, but it did. And so, like, even with everything happening here, Taka is still, like, understanding. And that's why he says, like, I think he said it in here, like, that it was supposed to be, like, a good meeting, but in reality it wasn't. He says, I think I did not belong in her, like, other world, and that their openness and strength were simple vulnerabilities. And he says she found no place for me in that world, but nor did she want to hurt or reject the person that she had loved all these years. So she allowed a new truth to be shaped, a truth that made sense of her response, her feelings, a truth that did not match the facts of what happened, but was true in her heart. I had now been found by her to be a different kind of person, a person guilty of the kind of insensitivity and even sexual abuse that has no place in the world of 9 years of our previous relationship, love, and shared intimacy. Oh, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. So this is what was said, implied, suggested to others in that world. It is untrue, but it sprang from a hurt heart. Taka even acknowledges that. She, like, she's not doing this deliberately. That, like, her brain just had her, like, made her think that while these things didn't actually happen, like, she had to come up with her own truth in her mind. Taka even acknowledges that, which, like, I don't know. I don't know. Hold on, I'm behind. So, like, what, blood pressure? Yes, exactly. She's not communicated clearly. He's really close to that. He should have picked up that she was troubled, though, and not slept with her. Feel out hanging out with her before getting hot and heavy. Well, that's the thing. Is he I'll be honest, I'll debate this on his side. From what I'm understanding, he figured her anxieties were about traveling because she communicated that she did have anxieties about traveling. That's all she communicated though. And he was like, oh, okay, that's fine. They've been sexual time and time again in the past. He only thought it was about travel, so being with him seemed to have calmed her down. And again, and I can't stress this, from his perspective, he like, genuinely, he can't be expected to have read her mind, is like how I genuinely feel about this. He could not have been expected to read her mind on this. He thought he was doing things that were fine in that situation, asked for consent, got 3 separate bouts of consent for 3 different acts. Nothing ever signaled to him that this was wrong. And then even after the rest of the trip, he was always in consideration for her and her feelings. She never communicated properly with him. And I just like, I don't know how Taka was like, not so, like, his missteps were planning the visit and misgauging the extent of her mental illness. Yes, exactly. That's like that's it. But like, from everything that he had, I don't know how he was supposed to figure that out. That might be the goat. I would have handed this bitch to the wolves because his accusation's gonna chase him for years. Exactly. Yeah, one relationship, 2 very different perspectives. And again, I acknowledge very much so, I don't know everything that happened. There might have been more that we just don't have the information to. But of all of the information that I have here, with Taka putting all of their screenshots from conversations that they had via text, I know there is, actual IRL conversations that we don't know, but from everything that I have, every clear piece of evidence that is there, it seems like she's just regretting her choice. It's really what it feels like. I do too. I don't want it to be an interview like 6-1 and I've told my family to stay out and away from trouble and crazy, yet it still found me. Yeah. No, 100%. Your no tracking is clean AF. I know I've been here for 2 hours, but it's so yay, thank you! I'm gonna have it on for like all of my streams now. Or a lot of them. Probably not my gaming streams, but if I'm talking to, like, if I'm doing a chatting stream, I can have this on. Cause I mean I'm just yapping and y'all get to see like my movements. But I'm very happy with the tracking. But yes, like, EJ, Mistress Doom, 100% needs help. 100% needs help. I believe that she should not be engaging in any type of relationship with somebody. Has there been a Google Doc every week this year? Did we not? Oh, yeah, basically. I've been in the VTuber space too long. I can't trust VTubers who are troubled with multiple things. I wouldn't even want to lay down with someone like that. We can hang out, but nah. I'm not saying he did something wrong, but when I see certain behaviors from someone, I'd rather not do. No, you are correct with that, because I feel the same way, and like, I specifically don't interact with people that I feel like they are dealing with stuff in like their lives, because I don't want to be wrapped up in that. I don't want to be wrapped up in whatever they've got going on. I want them to figure their stuff out first, because I don't have the mental or emotional capacity to deal with somebody going through that. I just don't have it. Other people do. It's not me though. I'm not the one. And so I would, like, this would never happen to me, because I would recognize somebody's, like, hesitations or anxieties on something, and I just dip the fuck out. Or I'd be like, hey, I'm just going to give you some space because you seem like you need it. Let me know whenever, like, you're good. But I don't know. And again, I don't know everything that happened, but I feel like Taka's not completely blind to something, especially for them having been on and off basically for 9 years. I want to say I don't think he would be that blind to it. I really do feel like she downplayed it way more than, like, expected. I mean, I terrors where I question myself, like, wait, did I do anything before? Oh my god, yeah. Every time anyone's being sexual towards me, I think, do not fuck your fans. It's never worth it. Well, that's the thing is they were together for like they were on and off for 9 years. It was way before VTubing like was even a thing that they were like talking and stuff. Like, if you know she's so antsy with everything and makes excuses for everything, you should not lay down with it. Well, I'll say the excuses and everything didn't come up until after that happened. And that's the thing, is she wasn't hesitant in bringing up excuses of, like, changing plans and stuff like that. It really did not happen until after the sex. That's whenever all of their, like, plans and stuff kind of derailed. I don't feel like there was any sign beforehand. The only thing that was derailed beforehand was her saying that, like, she couldn't come see him Wednesday, I think, whenever he came in, because her dog was sick and she had to take care of the dog. Which, like, that can just happen. But, like, none of her hesitations really show. And again, this is only in the text messages. Maybe they showed up sooner, but none of her hesitations showed until after the sexual encounter. And I mean, again, she might have been odd before. From the text messages, I don't feel like there was really a sign of it. It might have been in person. I don't know. I don't know everything that happened. But from what I read in the messages prior to and up to that, and then after that, there's a shift after the sex of, like, what I feel like is her regretting and then wanting to distance herself. But there isn't that beforehand. So the essay allegations are like, I can't confirm or deny the essay allegations. I don't know what happened. Again, I wasn't there. I'm only basing my opinions on everything happening from what I'm reading. My opinion on it is I think she regretted her actions afterwards and is saying this from a place of regret rather than it truly being what she's saying it is. Also, Syndicate, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Also, hi, Primordial. So then we get into Bo Sheep. I believe this is Bo Sheep talking with... Who is Bo Sheep talking to here? Is it Taka? I think it's with Taka. This is Bo Sheep and Taka talking. I'm actually not gonna go through this because I don't feel like it's too... Because this is just Taka saying, like, here's one of my friends basically vouching for me. I don't feel like this is important to go through. But what I do want to go through is... Thanks for the base TikToks. No problem. Oh, can I... No, I still can't give a thumbs up. No problem. What I do want to go through is her statement on Twitter. So... She says, hello, this is the carer of Mistress Doom. Some of you may know me as Jimmy. I am posting this brief statement on her account on her behalf so that she does not have to traumatize herself further. These are her words for now. Finally, a chance to speak after a year and a bit of suffering from someone's actions. Well, kind of speak. She says, this is an active police investigation. Nothing about this case should be public as it is in the hands of the police and actively being investigated. This has been a police case since August 2024. Taka publicly posting that document is a crime and breaks the Sexual Offense Amendment Act of 1992, which states an alleged victim of R-word or SA is granted an anonymity for life as soon as they report, which I did back in August 2024. I would love to be able to share my story and my evidence. However, it has all been with police since August 2024 onwards. I need to speak to the officer in charge of my case as well as my R-word crisis advocate before I can make more of a statement regarding any of this. I know this is a court of public opinion and you want evidence, but what Taka did is a crime and is being handled by the police. Twitter has also been made aware of the post. Made aware that this post is a crime. Unfortunately, it was around midnight he did this, so neither the police officers involved in the investigation or the advocate are awake, so I have to wait till morning to be able to speak with them and clear what I can publicly share. I put none of this public and never wanted to go public, nor did I want anyone to know that I was a victim of it. I know I can't give evidence right this second, but the police have been, or have had the phone logs and his lawyer's letters since the end of January/February 2025. And as of literally today, the 9th of September, when I spoke with them, they were still actively pursuing this investigation. I have given no one permission to share this story, and most of the people claiming they have heard my side and spoken to me are lying. I have proof of everything I claim. It is just tied to a police case, which I will provide proof of as soon as the officers in charge of the case and my advocate are awake. But no, I wouldn't have a police officer in charge and a R-word crisis advocate for nothing. Once again, this is a police case. None of this should have been known publicly, and outing my name is a crime. Please allow me the space to speak with the police and the advocate, and know that having a trauma that has almost killed you outed against your will is a trauma I will never forget. I am a real person with feelings who has suffered over a year with this. If I must make this clear publicly, then let this be my word to listen to as a victim of this investigation. I do not currently consent for anyone to speak on my behalf other than my care at this point. The only consent previously given in the past was to only state that there is a ongoing police matter and nothing further. Any posts that targeted the situation publicly were done against my will. If you made a post on my behalf, you did not have my consent. Oh, hey, Devin. Is somebody... I don't know if anybody's typing a TLDR. Oh, hey, Segi. Listen, y'all are coming in right at the end of it, because this is the last thing that's been posted publicly. Let me go back through and read some of the stuff, because I am behind while I was going through all of that. Also, UK police don't trust UK police one bit. Oh. Yeah, he's accused of SA, but it's very, very, like, murky at best. Is illegal to distribute information about this alleged crime, proceeds to yap to friends about it. Kuro, thank you for saying that, because that's exactly what I was going to go into. That is what has, like, come up. Thank you for the shout-outs, by the way, Risky. I really appreciate you. But she's letting this info out first. Yes, that's been the big thing over all of this, is that she's saying that Taka coming out about it now is a crime when she shared this. Like, obviously, Taka would not give people screenshots of these conversations. She shared this information with her friend group. Somebody within her friend group, I don't know if Adora was in that, but like somebody like Adora, who then posted this publicly, brought it up, and then Alicia saying that she had been given, she says the victim doesn't want to talk publicly, but I will say this now using her prior okay of me saying this, but then also says that I've never spoken directly to the victim, I've only ever talked to Taka. Going back and forth, Alicia then comes out and says more information about this. And from that, if people are already talking about it, Taka's putting it all out there. So the fact that she then comes out and says, oh, what Taka's doing is illegal, when this all came out from you. You were the first person to give information to other people outside of this police case that this happened. So I can't even really put credit to this, to be honest. Because it sounds like a lot of, oh shit, the whole story is, yeah. She said she got an okay, but didn't speak to her directly. That's what Alicia's saying. I don't understand. I don't get it. that's what I'm trying to, like, piece it together from her side, I guess. But it's just, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up from what she's saying. What does logically add up is a lot of the things that Taka is saying, because he has the screenshots to back it up. And now she is saying again that this is like an active police investigation and that she can't put out whatever smoking guns that she might have on this. But as people are saying in her comments, this is somebody saying, you made this public though, not him. You sat there and said all this stuff to your friends while slandering him in a DM. And then your friend slandered him publicly and you let it happen. And that's what so many people are kind of getting at her on this is you made that null by revealing yourself as the victim to third parties not involved in this investigation. It's just Taka put it all out there to a bigger audience, but it was already out in the public and outside of the case. There's nothing to like. I don't feel like she can be mad about this. And again, I just feel, to be honest, that she is very troubled and she needs a lot of help. She needs a lot of help mentally, and she should not be really interacting with a lot of people in the ways that she is with the things that she has going on internally with her. It just is what it is. But the entire post that Taka wrote, from what I remember, doesn't have hearsay because it's all his perspective. So, like, he has a very strong arguments and evidence. Yes, and that's the thing is, like, he just gave everything from his perspective. And he included the text message because they texted a lot. And again, there's three sides to the story. Your side, my side, and the truth. Taka's is closer to the truth, it seems, that her side is. And, like, I just feel like this is a very bad case of she's regretting her actions and the things that she did and trying to, like, spin it as this story of S.A. when it's just her regret. And that's the other thing, is she's not transparent at all. From Taka's response, she was a completely different person and did not share vital information about her. Yes! Like 100%. She needs to get help. His evidence seems stronger for sure. I'm not picking sides, just going off of what's here. No, that's very fair. I would recommend not picking sides in this because we don't know everything. We don't know everything in this. I'll be honest, I do feel like I'm very strongly on Taka's side more than hers because I just have more information from Taka's side, and I'm going to be on the side of whatever information I have and can very much grasp and make clear correlations to other things. I don't recommend other people take sides, but I will say I'm pretty strongly on Taka's side right now because I'm just going off of the information that I have access to, and Taka gave a lot of information that just adds up when she hasn't. And even in it's very, very hard to believe her when even in her own, accusation post, you see her actively mix things up in the timeline of her saying that she had talked about just wanting to be friends when that didn't happen 3 days later. That didn't happen until 3 days later. And so I feel that Taka has a good case here from what I can see. And again, that's just going with what I have. I know I don't have everything. I don't have all the information. I don't know what happened with him in person. I don't have a lot of things, but I will draw a conclusion from what I do have. And the conclusion that I'm drawing is that she seems to regret her actions. Hold on, I'm so behind. Why is she with Taka in the first place? I don't think she understood what she wanted until they got in person. Holy truth, true that. Shade on truth. She lost in the U.S. I don't know how the international law works here. I take facts on a paper trail over someone saying something without it. That's kind of where I'm at with this right now. Is I feel very strongly on taking the side of what information I have. The tracker, I'm loving the tracker so much. I'm so happy with them. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about them. Thank y'all so much for these. I'm sure she had some idea she wasn't ready for a relationship. Just why put yourself in an uncomfortable situation? I wonder if Taka just didn't notice or what she was really trying to cover up her flaws. I feel like, again, I don't know, but I feel like she was. I feel like she was trying to cover it up. I really do, because we see it in the messages where she is not clear. Taka asks her time and time again, hey, are you comfortable with this? How are you feeling? what would you like to do? And we see her every single time he asks a question, literally avoid answering the question. She never answers a single question that he gives. So it's just, like, I can't feel something very strongly towards her when, like, I see that happen. Oh, sorry, I gotta strap my leg. My leg get itchy. So I can't talk about this because I'm biased from personal experience, and I'm just going off of the information that I have. That is, like, my biggest thing is I'm going to go off of information I have. That was the same thing with the Radia and Adora thing. Off of all the information I had on Radia and the way that it was, I jumped to conclusions that, I mean, after Adora put out her doc, I didn't feel very strongly towards, like, any other way. I still felt pretty spot on with my conclusions, but I did get more information into why some things happen. It's the same situation. I'm not afraid to change, like, I'm not afraid to be wrong. I'm not afraid to change my opinion. I would absolutely love for Mistress Doom to get a clear from the police that she can put out this information and put out a smoking gun against Taka. And I'll say I was wrong. From everything that I got from Taka, I thought one thing, but it turns out I was wrong. I'm not afraid to say that. I would love to say that, in fact. I would love to believe her because I want to believe victims. But at the same time, if you don't have anything and you're not actually the victim you're putting out to be, that's an issue. And that needs to be discussed. Oh, Rusio, thank you for the sub. Oh my goodness, welcome in. Think Taka did what he was supposed to and he still got... Yes! What makes the IQ drop by 100 is when King avoids mentioning Jay's crooked, obtuse, pinky toe. What? My pinky toe is perfectly fine, thank you very much. To be clear, I'm not saying that she did nothing for purpose, saying I can't fathom doing that. We're all adults here. Why are you self-aware of your mental health or emotions? I have too many questions. No, you're right. And, like, again, also editing does suck. That sucks ass. I even have to give Taka credit for this, is that he literally, like, the intro of Fluff that I kind of griped on at the start was important. I feel, because he even says that, like, he does not feel like she did this with malice in her heart. He just feels like her mind could not accept a reality that actually happened. So it made up a different one and made her feel that this other reality that was not factual happened. But he doesn't hold it, like, against her. Which, like, I don't see how Taka's a villain here. I really don't. Even with everything, he still feels for this woman who is actively slandering him. Yeah, he's better than me. He's way better than me. Stressing, I'm not trying to sound mean. He did word it perfectly. I just can't with all. No, you're so fine. I'm taking, like, your comments to, like, express how I'm feeling. I'm not trying to, like, argue with you or anything like that. I'm sorry if I'm stressing you out. I'm just trying to communicate, like, what I'm taking from this, and I just go off of the things that I'm reading to, like, better communicate that, or, like, reiterate a point. I apologize. I really don't mean to, like, stress you out on this. You're fine, and you're good for asking the questions that you're asking, because I have those same questions as to, like, how it became like this with two grown-ass adults. It shouldn't have, like, none of this should have transpired, being completely frank, but, like, it did, and I don't get it, and so I really want and hope that this woman can, like, put out more information of maybe things that we're missing or whatnot. No, you're not stressing me out. I just want to be clear. I'm not trying to be mean or sound mean with this. Oh, no, you're so fine. You're so fine. Don't even worry. Don't even worry. Everything was spot on. They're both bad. Mind you, one of them was worse in a sense, but that's like saying, yeah, they're both spicy, but ghost pepper is definitely worse than jalapeno. Exactly. Yeah, yeah, he loved her, and he knows the person he loved wasn't like this and wasn't this malicious, so he's dumbfounded. Exactly. He be putting on a front to gain public favor. I know the... Oh, excuse me. I don't know the guy. So anything goes until all info is out in the public. That's very true. And I mean, I guess it also, like, comes from, you know, whenever this police investigation is concluded, if that information comes out or anything there, I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, he's not attacking her while she is, like, bashing him as as her monster. 100%. If he's innocent, I feel so bad, but if not, if it turns out that, like everything she said was true and it did happen like that, I'll say I was wrong. Again, I'm not afraid to admit being wrong. I'm not afraid to say I had the wrong opinion on things. I think more people should also not be afraid to say they had the wrong opinion on things. I'm simply going after or drawing my conclusions from everything that I've been given so far. Yeah, we have no stake in this. This is like, tomorrow I'm just gonna play fucking Uma Musume or something. Like, I'm just talking about this because it's something going on and I talk about drama. But like, I do want to know what happened. Honestly, if EJ is in the right and Talk is wrong, I cannot take being wrong in this case because I feel like if it's one side is wrong, I defended the other side, which committed it. Well, I don't even feel that way. Also, Dan, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Do a jig. I don't have the full. Here we go. This is about best jig I could do here. But I don't feel bad for coming to a conclusion with the information that I had thus far. I don't feel bad about that. I really don't. What? Y'all, I have phantom pain. When you yeet me, I feel it in real life. Wonderful, Jake. I don't, unless you release a non-AI video, which is illegal, I don't see her turning it around. I'm not reading your entire name. That's too many numbers. Damn, she really hit it. Oh, my dances don't work. My dances don't work because I have the tracking on. That's so unfortunate. I didn't know that. Well, we'll just go through these different camera angles. All right, noted. Tracking stops the random dances from dancing. I wonder if I can figure out how to stop that. I know, I'm sorry. I really scammed you. I really scammed you there. I'll refund your points, Bane. Scamming streaming. No! I'm sorry. I didn't know. This is my first time doing this. I didn't know that would happen. The hand motions on the different angles are fired. You're so right, babe. You're so right. But yeah, no, I would love to be proven wrong in this. I'll be honest. I would love to be proven wrong. Is this how I get canceled? Honestly, that's not too bad. I read it while I'm waiting for both sides right now. I am on Taka's side because I feel like it's a relationship gone bad. It feels like that. It feels like that. Google Doki on Jay coming up. God damn it. I can't see him coming back comfortably to this day. Space if he's innocent. This is a career breaking, and other VTubers probably were talking about this before it came out. Most implied he was good. Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. Like, I don't think he can come back from this. Local Dragon Bat Tuber scams community put it in the docky. No. Oh, good luck. Have fun. Yeah, no, but like, I won't feel bad if I'm proven wrong. I'll be glad if I'm proven wrong. I want, like I said, I want to be proven wrong. I came to a conclusion that with the information that I had, and I don't think that's unreasonable really, to like draw conclusions with given information. So if I get more information, I'll change the conclusion I drew. 100%. I think that's the healthy way to manage these things and how it should be. So I don't feel that. Did you cover Corey's new video? Corey Kenshin? I did not. I haven't even watched it, I'll be so honest. I'll take back. No, please. Don't take back the triggers. They're so fun. Jing will main tally, but I hope he'll be okay and can still do voice acting. Yeah, I do. I prefer the truth, but I am inclined to believe he may be innocent based on what we have right now. Yes, like, I just want to know. And again, no, Empress, you are correct. This should have been private. That's the thing. It 100% should have been private because it's a police investigation. But she started by sharing this information. her friend she shared the information to came out and started putting stuff publicly. So Taka then put his public statement out there, and now she's mad that that happened. And now she's saying, oh, he's breaching it, when in fact, she started the breach by sharing it with her friends. It should have never been out of police custody entirely. Who shared it publicly first? Mistress Doom shared it with her close friend group. Some people within her close friend group shared it online. I believe Adora was like the one to really put it out there. Adora Bunny put out that like there was the essay allegation against Taka. After that, and then Alicia as well. So other people said that this was out there. Taka put out his full statement showing all of the like screenshots and evidence or whatnot. And then Goddess, what is her name? I forgot already. Mistress Doom. She then said, well, Taka breached it by him putting out the information. Mistress Doom, that's what it is. So, the first person to share it outside of the police was her. So, I don't believe that. Do you still have the 9mm go boom? Yeah, I do still have that. I can't do it right now because I have the tracking going on. Doesn't help how his friends disavowed him and publicly distanced from him without hearing him out properly. Yes, yeah. I understand why she would tell people the fact that those people she told blabbed. That's the issue. Yeah, no, I mean, yes, I agree. But if she wants to go strictly by law, she should not have put it out there at all. Lawyers are going to have to get a lot to go through. Yes, yeah. Okay, if it's an internet thing or a VTuber thing at this, I have no idea. My speculation is she wanted something to get one up over him. Oh, where are your thumbs? Right here. You see my thumb? Also, Gamba time. All I went to talk about. That's a really good summary, Gamba. That's a pretty solid, yeah. Yeah, she messed up. I'm probably allowed to cover her butt, yeah. Okay, now you're going a little crazy, Gamba. I don't like that happened. They knew nothing and potentially went off of hearsay. These VTubers know people are shady and tend to have a lot of mentally ill people in the space who twist or, in this case, warp the truth. Yep. Yep. The only thing you can tell your partner is I have to leave for work for a few months. That's it. No details because it's classified. So she breached the classified stuff with her friend. Exactly. And I've said this about Alicia specifically, but I mean, it applies to her too. I need VTubers in general to learn to shut the fuck up. That's like the biggest thing ever. Some of y'all motherfuckers have got to learn when to shut the fuck up. It just is what it is. Y'all talk too damn much. And listen, that's coming from a yapper. But sometimes I learned this too. I know. I'm pretty well aware when I need to shut the fuck up. And I need everybody else to figure that out. Why'd you make that face? You bitch. Why'd you make that face? Sometimes you just gotta shut the fuck up. Exactly. Sometimes you just have to shut the fuck up. But I mean that was also what's going on. Oh yeah, Mega Malamar. That's another thing. I was gonna say that's what's going on. I'm actually gonna snooze this ad because I think I'm pretty much. I spent today talking about the stuff that I wanted to talk about. Here, let me do this coin flip. It's tails. Oh. Okay. Only like one person voted. I think 2 people voted into heads. There we go. Did you see the patent Nintendo got? What did Nintendo do?
Nintendo got a patent on like the mechanic of summoning a monster and having it fight other summoned monsters for you.
Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's so bad. I hate that. Okay. That's unfortunate. Hang out with VTubers around like 20 years old. Older folks tend to keep themselves and are chill. I'm too old for this craziness. Well, I mean, Taka and this girl are like, I think in their like 40s at this point. maybe 30s or 40s. Like, they're grown-ass adults. These are not young people. I read part of me wonders if she was personally hurt because he didn't seem willing to go out of his way to visit her, which is fair. I was like, sorry for coming in late. No, you're good, you're good. I think she really did not want the relationship that she had and did not really acknowledge that until it was too late. And I feel like maybe something changed in person where she just didn't want it to be anymore. This is youngin' behavior usually. No, these are grown adults. Because they've been on and off for 9 years, because they met at like a convention 9 years ago. I'm almost certain Taka's like maybe 40 at this point. These are not, they're not young in this. Like, these are not like under 20s or even like 25. Like, these are 30 to 40 year olds. So there's that in this. Taka's pushing 40, so I sent you something, but it seems like light in compare. Oh yeah, you did say, can I send drama in the drama channel? You can always send drama in the drama channel. Oh, what the? Oh, okay, I'll have to look at that later. He was born in 87. I'm not doing actual math. 38, yeah. There we go. Oh, y'all did the math before. Oh, okay, thanks. I busted out a calculator, I'm not gonna lie. I said 2025 minus 1987 equals 38. She could have just told him that it's not gonna work out and not do something bad. Yes, that is the whole issue, is that like she just did not communicate. I know older people tend to deal with less issues in this space. No, you're right. I mean, I feel that way too. I definitely feel that I avoid the younger VTubers because they have too much going on. And like, they're not even really like figured out themselves. And like, I need you to have your shit figured out. I can think of like 2 younger VTubers. And like, whenever I say younger, I mean like early 20s. I can think of 2 early 20s VTubers that like I'm cool with, and like that's it, because I'm normally by people closer to my age or older because they have more of their shit together. Imagine being a VTuber in the big old 25 SMA. Hey now. But yeah, no, that was really all I wanted to cover today, was like the Taka situation. I'm trying to avoid y'all going into ads again, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap up here. I'm pretty I mean, I just hope to get more information out of everything, or like out of yeah, I just hope to get more information from this and like see if I'm proven wrong, for example. I would love to be. But I'm going to go ahead and take us to Tuna, who is playing some Final Fantasy 14 right now. Oh. No, I'm going to take us to Tuna. Yeah, I'm going to take y'all over there. Let me go ahead and give y'all the raid message. Here's the raid message if you are not subscribed. Here's the raid message if you are. Y'all go behave over at Tuna Stream. They are wonderful. We love a big tuna in this household, part of the Fang Gang. Yeah, be nice over there. But thank you everybody, as always, for stopping by. I'll be streaming again tomorrow at 1 p.m. CST. My Thursday streams are earlier in the day. And so hopefully I'll catch you there. We'll play some games. I might play some puzzle games. Might be more Uma Musume. Who knows? I don't know. But I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, night, whatever time it is for you. And let's get this raid started. Bye-bye!